Bismillah, rich risings, wealthiest risings. How is everyone doing? God is love. All right, so what did I put up there? We are all gathered today. We are all gathered here today. We're all gathered here today. Today. Period. So I just want to tell y'all, I love y'all, first and foremost. If nobody told you that they love you today, I absolutely do adore you. And prayerfully, everything is going to do what it needs to do. All right, there's that. All right, let's see. Yeah, period, done. All right, go live there. All right, everybody. All right, I put some stuff on my face, so hopefully they don't start doing whatever. Dang it. All right, let me see if I can fix this also, because I don't know what happened to this, but apparently something happened to this, and that's crazy because when did that happen? Anyway, let me fix this real quick. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? So I was listening to something, and it was basically talking about how people be mourning stuff, people, places, and things that they have left from. And then it was basically because the lady, her son had died. And so she decided that she wanted to go out into the wilderness and die as well. Because, she had asked God for a son for forever and a day. And meanwhile, after she got the son, something happened. They was going to get married. After they got married, the son died. So she decided that she didn't want to live anymore. So she goes out into the wilderness, and she said she was going to eat. And as she was there, mind you, this is a hallucination, so just so you know, from someone. Robin, welcome. Thank you for being here. And so she decided that she was just going to lay down and die. And then the person that was speaking to her said, how are you going to want to die over you losing your son, but Mother Earth has lost because it says from ashes to ashes, dust to dust, you being made from the earth, you're going to die, you're going to go back to earth. So basically using that connotation, I guess. So he was basically saying, like, how are you mourning over one and wanting to die when Mother Nature has been mourning throughout the years, throughout the times, throughout this whole entire period, all the bloodshed that was put onto the earth. And not to minimize anything, because that's what it seems like, but it could always be worse. So when you're feeling down, feeling lonely, feeling neglected, feeling whatever you're feeling, just realize that you're still blessed and it could be worse. But also be mindful that this too shall pass. So I feel like it's just a sign to just know that wherever you are at this moment in time, to be thankful, because there's a lot of stuff happening and playing out, behind the scenes spiritually, because as we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now, the spiritual realm is also actively dealing with whatever we're also dealing with at this moment in time. So I don't know if that gives any, help to anybody mentally, spiritually, physically, but that's just my little tidbit. on the situation. So I pray that helps, and we got this back up. So we're going to put this back, and hopefully it stays the way it needs to stay, and we can go from there. Okay. All right. So there's that. Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. So it says we're gathered here today. What does that start off with? So we're going to first start off with Al-Fatiha the same way we normally do. So true, and I'm grateful for good and bad, knowing that there are lessons for us to learn. Yeah, and then that was another thing. I'm glad you said that. So another thing that I was listening to and I heard that it was like towards the end times when God was saying that being able to appear on the earth, that during the times when God started to appear on the earth, it was going to be because we started praying for people that we were not supposed to pray for. And so it's like the equivalent of somebody being a very, very horrible person, and then maybe we not knowing that they are very horrible people, and then us doing that. Also, because it keeps being a thing about the time. The time, okay, so the book that I was listening to this time was, it's not a book, it's like the Apocrypha, I think. It's called Esdras, The Hidden Prophecies. All right, so I don't know who's writing these things or where they getting some of this stuff from, but as I listen to it, it's definitely giving me a whole lot more understanding. Like, it's actually changing the way that I even think about death. So let me do this first. So we're going to do this, and then I'll tell you why. It says, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. All praise is for Allah, Lord of all worlds, the most compassionate, most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with, or those who are astray. And then we're going to go over here to Psalms 91. And Psalms 91 says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rapport. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say the Lord is my refuge and make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent. For He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because He loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue Him. I will protect Him, for He acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer Him. I will be with Him in trouble. I will deliver Him and honor Him. With long life, I will satisfy Him and show Him my salvation. So part of what I was looking at that He was saying was that, and when God starts to come along the earth, that a lot of people will start to, it's like what they said, you will only watch. So plagues being given to different people. And so it's like the righteous people, right? So the people who have done the right thing, the people who have tried to seek, God, this is why in the book of Jubilees, it says, no, it wasn't the book of Jubilees, whatever we was reading, Hilda, I think it was. I don't want to lie to y'all, but it said that when they asked that the evil, the wicked, be cast off earth, that only a certain amount of it was able to leave, because they had to be able to test and see who was wicked and who wasn't. So then it goes into this book that I was listening to, and it says that plagues will be sent on the earth because of the fact that, this is when it's the time that God is, being shown, and then that a lot of people will disappear, a lot of people will die, but they will be held in a, in the realm that is, waiting for judgment. long story short, the amount of righteous people, and I guess that could be potentially where the 144,000 comes in, but the way it is talking about in this book is almost like you can go for miles and miles and miles. So I guess because the earth is so big, and the people who are left will not see anybody. It's talking about how the certain foods and things of that nature will not be here, because I kept hearing about grapes and this, that, and the third. But basically, the people that are left here that are of the righteous are, wanting to know where the people went. But meanwhile, the people being destroyed. Anyway, so long story short, like I said, it gave me a different thought process, and I don't know why I feel like I want to cry, because my eyes are water. Um, the process of um, the people that got the test, because I said this is all a test. This place, this realm is nothing but a test. And come to find out, that's what it's basically saying. Like, the test is to find the people that are righteous enough to be able to inhabit the next land that God is about to give. So you know how, like, when at the Quran, in the Al-Fatiha, it says Lord of all worlds, it's because this world was actually chosen and found to be great and good by God, because God gave us dominion. And then the people started being corrupted by whatever was here. It even was talking about babies and milk, like how, because all of these things are trickery and curses, entertainment purposes only. And I'm gonna tell you what it basically was, even down to the most minute things. Like, God has given us everything here to be able to live and not have to worry about anything, right? Mind you, our body regenerates itself. Mind you, so as it was talking about the pregnancy in a lady, it was calling the babies creatures. And it was saying, like, um the creature will grow inside of you for extended a period of time. 9 months is what it said. And then once the creature comes out, you're supposed to give it milk of your bosom. Not supposed to be feeding it with the, like, y'all, it is talking about time so much. Every part that I listen to that has been taken out, it is literally talking about the timing and the way everything is supposed to be structured from the beginning into the end. And that would be the reason why they would have tried to take it out or destroy the message. Even to the tune of, I'm listening to that same text saying that God is watching when they start building things, like how certain people keep talking about CERN and things of this nature, that God is allowing them to do that. Mind you, this text is older than this. So how did they know back then, unless they knew, unless it has to be real? But mind you, everything that they're doing kind of points to the fact that that's the reason why they did it. And so anyway, it was talking about the way that they would create machines, and they would create technology and things that would basically turn us away from God. Everyone, welcome. Robin, thank you for being here. Nicole, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Striker, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. We going to, it says we're gathered here today. So I got to move this over here, but I wanted to tell y'all as I was putting everything together. Nicole said, Rich Rising, Nicole. There's a wholeness. This encompasses your best and worst times. The experience is still there to be had regardless, like stream. Yeah, like, I love how you even put that, because that's exactly the right thing. And it is like, we have to know. We have to know, we have to feel it, and we have to be accountable for our behaviors. Because even it says that when God asks about righteous people, some will lie, because basically, we do stuff with, because it was talking about how God even hears our thoughts. And in the midst of everything that we could potentially feel, because remember I told you I had a thought about when I seen somebody doing wrong to the people. And it made me start to, say, like, God, do something about that. And then I told you I was crying in the shower and everything else. And then God started to say to me, like, you asked for the truth. And if you ask for the truth and you actually want the truth, then you have to know that um, this thing is creating the reason for the truth to be able to be even to be shown. And so you can't ask for the truth and then try to tell God how to reveal it or how to even give it. So that was one of the things that I was being worked with on, because thoughts be powerful. And I literally thought God killed him. So and I shouldn't have thought that. I mean, but having the human experience, that's what I thought, right? Uh, so it was saying that. Then it keeps talking about the food, like the food being important. Certain things, certain people are not supposed to ingest. And I've seen a thing. You know how it says certain blood types should only eat certain foods. Mind you, it's kind of even giving that like message, but it's also saying like the people, and because there's different groups of people, and God gave a message to everybody, even when everybody was split. This people are going this way, these people are going this way. These were the rules that were set for these people. These were the rules that were set for these people. These were the rules that were set for this people. Okay, let me see. We are all gathered here today. All right, so y'all, I just was giving y'all what was being given to me in the process. So I was still trying to make sure that everything is, put where it needs to be put for y'all, and changing things around. So again, in that text, it's kind of giving me the vibe like everybody has to really pay attention to your intuition, your feelings, the things that are being given to y'all when, people are telling you to do it this way, or to, it should be done this way. Mind you, your body, your spirit, your soul is telling you that's not where God is leading you to, or that's not what God wants you to do. So yesterday, and I know I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I did. Because they was doing all types of stuff yesterday where, some people was celebrating Easter and people celebrating Passover, and everybody doing their own thing. But y'all, why is it that every celebration that I saw where they put Jesus on the cross, every single one of them people fell off the cross? And I mean, like, it just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, God, I know I shouldn't be laughing, but why are y'all not paying attention? Like, this is the ultimate God trying to tell you something and nobody listening. And then, hi, Nisba, welcome. Thank you for being here. That is the ultimate God saying, listen, listen, and listen up. And then people just doing what they want to do, right? And then, thank you, Nisba. And then I seen church ceremony that they was doing, because I was just scrolling, right? and apparently everybody was going on script yesterday. And this was what I was saying, like, God had to be working on these people. Because then I saw the other people, they was doing, their reenactment and this, that, and the third. And then out of nowhere, like, they just started whooping this man. Like, I think it was supposed to be fake, but they was tearing these people up. Like, so I know I don't know. I don't know if I should have been laughing or not, but I just thought it was funny, because every time I seen something that was reenacting whatever that was yesterday, I was cracking up. So, mind you, I still got tears, y'all. Y'all, don't mind me. Erica, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Educate. Till hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Lee, welcome. Thank you for being here. It says so true for I'm grateful, and I read that. Robin, thank you for that because I told you I like how you put that. Striker says unions, we are gathered here today. Yeah, so I'm gonna go over there, but I had to, I was still setting some stuff up, so don't mind me laughing. Nisa, Abby Grace, I love you. Thank you for being here. All right, y'all, let me go over here to where we belong. I am cracking up. Um, y'all, I don't know why I'm crying right now, okay? So just, I don't know. Apparently it's beautiful. Oh, shoot. All right, let me get myself together. All right, so I did the prayer over here, did this. It says, we are all gathered here today. Suggests people coming together for a shared purpose, like a ceremony, message, or a spiritual moment. All right, implies the context or the spiritual timely and meant to impact or awaken the viewer. All right, so this message is a meaningful moment where something important is being shared and could resonate deeply with you. Mind you, I wrote the title because that's what I was told. So as I was walking, that's the message that I was getting. It's good to get the chuckles. Bless girl. I was over here cracking up. I ain't gonna lie. Because in my mind, I was thinking, that's God really telling you. Because all the stuff that I also been listening to on the side note ain't been like I said, it's been giving me a different moment in life because here we are. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all a prayer. And then we're going to go into seeing what we got here. And then it was, again, it keeps being the timing. The timing of a situation is important. So, the prayer. Heavenly Father, we're gathered here today to open hearts and humble spirits. Thank you for bringing us together in this moment of purpose and peace. Guide our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Fill this space with your love, your wisdom, and your presence. Let every message spoken on this, let every message spoken to be that uplifts and heals and inspires. For those who are searching, bright clarity. For those who are hurting, bring comfort. For those who are searching, bring clarity. For those who are hurting, bring comfort. For those who feel lost, bring direction and light. Remind us that we are never alone, that we are connected, chosen, and deeply loved. May this moment be meaningful, and may it plant seeds of hope, strength, and faith in every heart. All right, so one thing that also gave me was it keeps talking about seeds. It's your children's children's children. So it would also be you. So I don't know why I'm crying. Y'all, my eye is watering. It wasn't doing that until I got here. So it's talking about how, and because I guess we still gonna go into what we was talking about the seeds, because literally they were planting seeds and growing, getting us together for now, this moment in time. What happened with that happens with good or bad thoughts, especially when I'm in public. Sometimes we need to laugh through really real reality and fortunate. All right, so now it's given the fact that you said that and the thing with the seeds. It was talking about how in the past everything was already given. So I guess we're going back to that because these are the seeds. And us being gathered here at this moment in this time. So it could be a message of love, because when I thought about we're gathered here today, because that's all I kept hearing along the pathway as I'm coming. And so I guess we're going to work it out and figure it out. So this is going to be right off the top because that's all I got. Anyway, so the past, God loving us enough to be able to give us a pamphlet basically into the new world, our new world, right? And us even being here. So we came into this realm. There was messages and things that were left for us. And I kept saying, even from the beginning, we weren't given a pamphlet to Earth School, but technically we were. Mind you, one so good that it was labeled down to the time and the date. And then something or someone, I want to say something, because when God is referring to babies as creatures, or when people are referring to babies as creatures, so something or someone. And I just got real cold, like the chills going over my body. So, Mike, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is another thing. For some reason, it was also talking about a person that can have thoughts, like thinking about your thoughts. So, just like they said, sometimes we can have bad thoughts, especially when I'm in public sometimes, and we need to laugh through reality and fortune, or misfortune. I think it was some words that were supposed to be there. Robin, thank you. So being able to think about your thoughts as the thoughts are happening. They said if you can do that, then you definitely a different type of individual, because a lot of people can't do that. They're being controlled by whatever the thought is. And so I think I started paying more attention after the Power of Now, because the Power of Now started to train your body for, that. But anyway, it also was talking about everything being important and relevant to now. So as we're all gathered here today, this is the moment. But mind you, you being on your pathway and your journey. So the elders, the people that was left here before, gave us a whole blueprint as to who's supposed to be here, who's supposed to be here, who's supposed to be here, who's supposed to be here. There was not a discrepancy in the order or the placement. And then I told y'all your biggest op was an angel. So, you can do with that information what you will. Or a fallen angel. But mind you, entities and beings that were already allowed to be able to walk around in the presence of the Most High. Okay? And so somehow, little old us created jealousy inside of an entity and a being that is bigger, powerful, more knowledgeable, and should, by all intents purposes, should have never been jealous of us. But somehow that created some type of ill will or ill intention, we did, in the holy realms, right? So then yesterday, there's this lady, she's a teacher, and she started, and I think she's been speaking out against the differences, and how people and things start to create or fester. Because again, we can already talk about some sins, I think it's the 7 deadly sins or the covenant. So it could be also related to that. Anyway, so what the lady did with these students is that she told, and these were like little kids, she told them that the blue-eyed children are better than the brown-eyed children. And she started giving the brown-eyed children, all the BS, and started giving the blue-eyed children all the, good stuff, and started saying all of these different things, and started telling the brown-eyed children how they weren't, any good, and this, that, and the third. Anyway, long story short, she said that what she figured out even throughout this, because she was trying to get them to realize that everybody was the same. But she said that she noticed that once she started putting that into the system, instantly the blue-eyed children started acting certain types of ways. So then the brown-eyed children started to give up. Again, it kind of goes back to, God in the sense, I guess, that these beings, these entities were already allowed to be here, walking around, being in the presence of, and then somebody may be feeling like they weren't good enough. Anyway, long story short, after this whole simulation was over and they kind of corrected everything with the kids and let everybody know how y'all were acting was ungodly and unholy, it kind of brought everybody together. And they said to this day that they noticed that even later on in life, those kids started to grow together and protect each other like a family. So now, imagine you being given instructions, a way to be able to live, a way to be able to heal yourself, a way to be able to just guide you along your pathway, right? That could maybe be boring for all intents purposes for anybody that, you know, is listening. But it kind of actually wouldn't be, because you actually have free will to do anything and everything that you want to do in the process. So another thing that was proposed. So listen to this, and then y'all can tell me in the chat if you would take the money. So there's a lady, let me see, I hope it's there. Maybe it's on my phone. All right, so last night I posed a question because it was posed, and she said that, you know, now that somebody posed it to her, she had to pose it to other people because, you know, she couldn't get it out of her mind. So here we are. What the heck is this? Okay, hold on. Something different. Hold on, y'all. All right, so this is the proposal. You get to have $100 million, right? And this is a lady on TikTok that said this. You get to have $100 million, but the price of this money is that good morning, son. That music is gonna give me a copyright, so be mindful of that. You get to have $100 million, but for the price of this money, is that there is a snail. A snail is hunting you for the rest of your life. And it only needs to make the smallest amount of contact with you, and you'll drop dead. And the snail is immortal and indestructible. And it always seems to know where you are. This snail can cross water, can cross, you know, seas, the lands, and it. Abby said, "Oh, hell no already." All right. The snail is immortal, always knows where you are. It can cross the seas and everything else the same way you can. All right. And it always seems to know where you are. And it always finds a way to get to you no matter where you are, but it still only moves. It still only moves at a snail's pace. Would you take the money? Okay. Mike is cracking up. All right, so yeah, that's the proposal on the table right now, okay? So where is my stuff at? Would you take the money? All right, so we're all gathered here today. A message you need to hear. We're all gathered here today for a reason, not by accident, not by chance, but by divine timing. If you're hearing this right now, take a moment to breathe. I just gave y'all a proposal because this is part of the proposal. And we're going to go back to the previous because we've been gathered here. This has been a long time coming. That's the song that I hear. A long, long time coming. Who sing that song? But anyway, it's been a long time coming. All right? If you're hearing this right now, take a moment and breathe. This message found you because your spirit needed it. You may have been feeling lost, overwhelmed, or uncertain about what is next to come. But know this, you're not alone. You have never been alone. Everything that you've been going through is shaping you, growing you, preparing you. Y'all, down to the relationships. Which is also strange because, oh, he said Sam Cooke. All right, let me cook then. Sam Cooke actually created that song, so I'm going to go look up the lyrics. So down to even the relationships. So even throughout history and throughout time, when you were given from day one, ground zero, when everything went into destruction and God said, I'm going to give you a reboot, right? And, we are gathered here today. Dare Ray said it. It's a message of a union, but it's almost, because I keep crying like I'm already at the end. But mind you, we got to go through the middle of this process. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Y'all, my brain just jumping all over the place. So last night, let me finish this, and then I'll go into how we got to we're gathered here today, and then to the rest of the relationship stuff, right? It do sound like a wedding. It is. And I just figured out, you know, what the connection was to all things. So all things being important, but it's to the Holy Union. All right. So we going that way. Cause I'll keep crying. Anyway, everything being on divine timing. Because remember, as we're talking about the text and the scripts, all the world is a stage, but the scripts are also part of biblical timing and divine timing. And so people changing, you know, things around for it to be, you know, based off of what they want in order for them to get to. All right, so I got to give y'all this message in the midst of being delivered. All right. What does being delivered mean? Delivered means like it's like a baby, but an adult time. What does being... Yeah, I'm sorry, because literally I told y'all this is how it happens sometimes, and I just got to go with the flow. I just know that that was what was being given. And then I smell coffee again. Same as yesterday. Anyway, so being delivered usually means being set free or rescued from something. In a spiritual or prayer context, it means being free from negative thoughts, pain or fear, struggles, being released from things that are holding you back, experiencing healing, breakthrough, or transformation. If someone says you're being delivered, it means you're going through a process of letting go and being freed so that you can step into something better. And so the message is, you may want to do something at this moment in time. Stand still. Don't do it. Don't be hasty. It said don't move hastily is what it says. Hold on. I got something else. Etymology of delivered. Y'all, I smell coffee. No, bring me some tissue out of that bathroom, please. Like a big, strong aroma of coffee. Like a lot of it. Mind you, it kind of just came in and overpowered everything else. So the etymology of delivered goes back, and mind you, I just want to say this, because the first time I started smelling coffee was yesterday. I know what it means when I smell cigars and cigarettes and things of that nature, but somehow that got introduced into the system when I said it to y'all first. So I don't know what that ties to yet. So I'm gonna just say that, but it smells like it's just all around me. It comes from the Latin word deliberare, which means to set free, liberate, or release. D or day is a way off, so a way out of a situation. Somebody may be looking for a way out of a situation, or it could be you looking for a way out of a situation. Something that maybe you thought wasn't going to happen, but liberare is to free. So this is also where the word liberate comes from. It's passed in Old French to deliver, meaning to free, hand over, to free or hand over. And in that mindset, it gave me like a spiritual release, but also the timing, because it keeps being a thing about somebody being held in bondage. So it could be like slavery or something of that nature, but it is tied to. So in the books, in the text, it talks about because the pathway wasn't given properly, to where it's like the dates, like it would be in 364 days. So somebody, and for all intents purposes, we don't know if anybody's gonna do this, but I'm gonna just say, yo, my nose, everything running. Hold on. So let's say that mind you, none of this happening until I get here. Like I'm telling you, I've been on live the whole entire time and in the room cleaning and whatnot. So how you been given a pamphlet or something and you're supposed to be able to follow the rules 364, but somebody comes along and now they decide to put everything back. Listening to Father Stretch talks about being liberated. Who is that? Okay, so she's saying it too. So confirmation on that. Hold on, I'm gonna come over there. And somebody puts everything back. So it's almost like somebody gets the message and they start to basically try to, is it reconstruct or deconstruct? Deconstruct is tearing apart. Reconstruct is put it back together, right? So reconstruct it back to the actual date and the time, because it's on divine timing. Nobody can change that. So liberate is, this also is where the word liberate comes from. So to free. It's passed down from Old French to deliver, meaning to free, hand over, or release, and then into Middle English as delivering. So also delivered literally means to set someone free. This is why today it has a different meaning depending upon the context. So like delivered a package is handing something over. Delivered a speech, presented or given. All right, so maybe something happened in the translation, because it would mean like I'm giving you something, delivering a package, I'm handing you over something, but technically it means to just let it be done. So somebody may think that delivered, like delivered into your hands, like giving you something. Meanwhile, it's being set free. Spiritually delivered, set free from something holding you back. So being delivered means being freed or released from bondage, struggle, or negativity. So it's like it can't even hold it at all, period, anyway. Let's see. Everything you've been going through is shaping you, growing you, preparing you. So you had to go through this in order to be able to, because everything we go through is like the silver lining, like what, something that you're being prepared for. You wouldn't be able to talk about it if you didn't go through it. So and everything being a test. So the test being, so what they said is this, when because I was going to explain it to y'all earlier, but I know I've been jumping all around. What I said was that the test of the righteous people, and I don't mean to use these words, but these are the words that I got to use because this is how it works. God preparing a place, and it could be this place, but only a certain group of people, y'all, I'm still crying. Only a certain group of people are allowed to be here at this moment in time. So whatever time, so everybody was being tested because it had to go through a whole cycle of a process. So it was like the turnover rate, because we had to seek whoever this energy, entity, being, whatever it is. Mind you, it's like all I see is white. It's like the veil coming off, and this is like the moment in time where you literally get to walk into, get connected spiritually, but it shows up like I don't want to say a light bulb, but it is pulling the veil back. It's a marriage. Unity, wholeness, she just said it right there. She said crying helps us to release emotions. No, and keep in mind you couldn't help those in need for every touching that money wouldn't survive. Yes, because they said everything, all money ain't good money. But mind you, this is what everybody uses. They showed me yesterday a lady was getting ready to go to her death. Everybody felt it. She kept getting all the warnings. And it was a little skit, but everything shows up for a reason. So there was a warning. The lady pulling up her shirt said, run. Somebody else called, because it's like, when you're getting all the messages and the signs. Somebody called, her sister called and said, whatever you're about to do, don't take another step. Do not take another step. Then the man that's trying to get her hands her a wad of money and a wad of cash. And remember, I just told y'all that literally I got tested in a way where a person, I'm going to pay. I know you need this. I'm going to pay. Mind you, I failed the last time. That's how I ended up married. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, long story short, wasn't buying it this time. So the man says, I know, I'm going to give you this. Gave her a wad of cash like this. She hangs up on the sister, but she takes the money from the man. The man says, come on, let's go. She don't want to go. Which was stupid because literally the whole thing, the phone call was to be able to get her out of whatever she was about to go into. But she hung up on the person that was getting ready to free her and release her, that she could have just ran in and said, you know, my sister having a problem. I got to go. Can't go in here. He gives her another wad of cash. Oh, you're trying to play hard to get. Show me that you're expensive. Da 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 da. Meanwhile, some other nigga standing behind the door. So if you enter into this space, your ass is God. So he gives her 3 wads of cash, but mind you, remember I said it's about the sins. So when it goes past the sins, let's see what this is, because thank you. I ended up having to run go get some because my nose started running too out of nowhere. What are the sins that break the covenant? It's like the 7 deadly sins. Is that what it is? Okay. And so even when I told y'all about the devil's dinner, it's like giving you something in a beautiful way because the devil knows what you like as well. So trying to get you off your pathway to get to this union, this connection. We are gathered here today, but apparently we gather here so we made it. Okay, so take that as the first sign. The first one, sins that break the covenant usually mean actions that go against a relationship or agreement with God, especially in a spiritual or biblical sense. And a covenant is a sacred agreement. Remember, it's a contract between you and God, built on faith, obedience, and trust. Sin doesn't always erase the covenant instantly, but it damages or separates you from that connection. Remember, I told you your biggest op is an angel. So their whole entire goal throughout this period has been to kill, steal, destroy, deceive, for you not to be able to move into whatever, you know. And I don't want to say the Garden of Eden because, again, whatever union, whatever connection that is meant. So it says idolatry being the first one, but all sins are measured equal, I think is what it says. Putting anyone above God, money always being the first one. Ty been smelling coffee. It's got to be connected. What he say? What he say? I didn't know that. Nisa said it's renewal. Chico says see, and when I'm sorry y'all wasn't paying attention. He says beautiful morning. I wanted coffee. It's all connected somehow. Because over here, Abby, it gets beautiful. Like, literally, because what I was getting ready to tell you about last night, and I said I've been all over the place, but I said something to God last night, right? Earth School taught me, or eat with no op. Yeah, don't eat with no op. Which was also another thing, because yesterday, it was eating with the ops. We're delivered from a life on the run by turning down that 100 milli. That's definitely a life on the run. Because you definitely got to be, keeping in mind. When we unite in marriage, we are also witnessed, in front of God. It's a union of 2 bit in the eyes of others, God to celebrate, etc. It's also recorded, registered, third-party viewing, can also be camera footage, just rambling respectfully, tapping it too. Great, because I'm doing the same thing. So that could be us basically, everything like Abby just said, everything be connected. So you rambling, I'm rambling, but it's a lot because it's all over the place and one thing being connected, because you got to remember, it's like the files being dropped and you got 3 million files all at one time, and you got a short period of time to view all of this information. So that means you got to get a couple different eyes on a situation and on a scenario, because like a team of 10 ain't gonna get it. So now it's a team of 144,000. because when I'm doing it, they're doing it too. And it's like a thing, like, is that the kaleidoscope or something? Like when you were a kid and you push the button and it has these things that are going across. She said facts. We're trying to figure this out, period. Okay, so first thing we know is the food is a thing. Second thing we know is the timing is a thing. We know one of two things, and the closer we get. So we also know that the covenant is important, so the contract is important. That's 3. All right, so we're gonna go back over here. Idolatry, putting anything above God. So nothing goes above God, even when y'all, how many times y'all done came and somebody tried to get you off your pathway by trying to tell you something. It's like, I literally said it. Remember them people that keep coming in here? I realize that they are a part of a test. And the reason why they come, because they keep giving me this girl named Dina. Dina. Every time it is a thing where a person is smart, but also won't do it themselves. They want to come and direct you. And you are not the director of me. You go and push the button over there on your side. So it is where God will try to get people to come and see if they can take you off your pathway. See if they can kind of sway you. And so if I start focusing, or if I'm getting angry over here, that means I'm not giving the message. And so there's 2 people that keep showing up in this chat that ain't never been here. And so that's why even Abby, when I was telling you, I said you picked up on what my feeling was. Mind you, y'all been here the longest, but everybody, it keeps being a changing of the guards also. So this is the thing. When other ones that would know, that would be in alignment with me would come, all of a sudden they would go off, because everybody learns, everybody graduates, everybody goes and starts doing their own thing, or whatever happens. Then God will put somebody else in my chat that basically, starts to align up, and then they'll be texting, because like that, and the other ones be around here, because like Larisha, everybody, they'll be watching, but they won't say nothing. And if somebody comes and nobody says anything, when the other people start to come, the people who were the guards before will come out of nowhere, because it's like what's his name? It's a few of them. Kevin will show up. It's because it's multiple people who are still moderators on my channel. I never take it away from them. Like the ones that are meant to be moderators on my channel, I never move it. They'll just all of a sudden show up and start moderating. Katrina, like out of nowhere they'll come. But then it's always somebody else that I swear these people, whoever it is watching me entirely too close. Because literally I said something the other day and I said, I'm not sharing. I'm not telling nobody nothing, right? Somehow whoever's watching me so closely, I think they figured out who the person is that kind of been lingering in my energy. And I ain't gonna say why, but I kind of think that somebody's being a whole lot nosy. Like somebody is studying me to the T. And it's weird. But I laugh because every time I see it, I'll be like, these people, I really can't have nothing. Because, I just said I'm not sharing, but somehow somebody went and figured something out. But anyway, Abby picked up on the fact that my energy start doing certain things, because then I'll be trying to avoid, like, or I just stop responding. And so Abby came and Abby just shut the whole entire, like, we not even going to let you respond. And the only reason why I was letting them respond, because like I said, to me, I felt like that was God's way of, are you going to, pay attention? Are you going to get distracted? Because at some point in time, it's going to be, you can't be distracted. And if you fall for this, that's you. It's not them, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's their pathway. And not to say that, but minions be doing what minions do, and not to say that, because their intentions could be really not knowing. Because sometimes y'all people really just don't know. They just come along and they saying whatever they saying, but it's not related to this. Because just like I told her, who is this over here? This is Striker is says she's it's Robin who said that? Not in, it's Striker. Striker said, I'm just rambling. But mind you, she's rambling about the same thing I'm rambling about. So it still keeps me on task because she's talking about what I'm talking about. The other people will come over here and they start talking about something from Timbuktu. That ain't what God want me to be talking about right now. We got to stay on task. They start trying to insert their whatever it is into the system. Oh, you should go look at the book of this. Oh, you should go do that. We not talking about that. The focus is here because we're all gathered here today, a message that we need to hear, so we need to stay on task. So even if we're rambling, because I'll be rambling sometimes, we're rambling about the same exact thing. So Striker, I love that for you, me, and us. And Abby said she got, so and period. So no harm, no foul, especially when it's being done like that. But that was just a test for me, because are you going to let somebody else sway the conversation this way when God giving you a message and God telling you that this is where your direction is? Are you going to let somebody else move you off your pathway or redirect you in another way? How many of y'all deal with that? How many of y'all are easily swayed when a person tells you, I wouldn't do it that way? They're not you. God is entrusting you with this pathway, with this message, with these people. Why? Because you will not be moved away from it. And you'll notice when somebody comes along, because instantly my energy always shifts with certain people, right? And because I can feel it. That is my body saying, and they'll come in and they'll try to be as harmless as they can. But mind you, inside my channel, it says the energy you give is going to be the energy you receive. It's already a fail-safe mechanism because you're going to already trigger the system by being whatever you are. And for everybody else, when they come in, it's been people that come in and they will say, I'm a demon. That's what they say, right? And I'll say, I don't care. Because for all intents and purposes, I'm not supposed to judge you. Come as you are. Come as whatever representation you are. Come as that. And mind you, they turn out to be the ones that will help the most. So I ain't judging. But it be the ones that come in, Jesus, da-da-da-da-da. But mind you, you're not acting in a way that's Christ-like, God-like, nothing-like. You came in to disrupt and kill and destroy, but it be the ones that come in and the name, because I always say the title's always right. So whatever, Striker, Van Kelly, if I look up the name, the etymology of the name, like the name is always right. So they don't even realize they be choosing names that be automatically triggering because they be trying to come in under the system. But if you come straight through the front door and say, I'm over here, mind you, it don't matter because everybody's important to the system. Everybody's important to the system. It's just in how you going to come in and how are you going to, get your ass going when you start triggering all the wrong things. So that's one of the issues, or not even an issue. That's one of the things. She says, smelling food is following your nose energy. Do it on the fly. I have a sister named Rodina. I call her Dina. Well, Dina, that's her name. And mind you, Dina is a part of the collective, right? Because she was here. But mind you, and I told Dina when I first we did a thing, the message that I kept getting, and I can share this because it didn't have nothing to do with her personal. It was what I ended up, knowing from the beginning. There was a meeting that took place because somehow I ended up, and I keep saying like the United Nations, but somehow I ended up being the representation for a group in front of this whole big somebody. Anyway, long story short, my group consisted of a researcher. It consisted of like different energies, right? And so what ended up happening was Dina, which also kept giving me Selena vibes. Like when they talk about Selena, it was the messenger. So you know how I say get your demons under control? Like I don't care what you are, get your demons under control. And at the moment in time, Dina didn't have her demons under control because Dina energy was triggering the whole entire collective, like in all the wrong ways, because it's a darkness there that she don't want to admit that she has. But mind you, we all have it. Just get it under control. And whatever that energy is that was attached to her was trying to get to me in a way that God was saying, no ma'am. But mind you, when I had the whole entire envision of the where we went, she was there. So not, that, because I don't get to choose, when God say yes, that's the end. But you can't also get near me to harm me either. So that's what was the biggest flaw in the whole system. And so whatever she was doing or not doing, because she clearly is doing something, because she's also the one that sent, remember when I said we had that call in the middle of the night and she sent bells and whistles, she scared the, because whatever that was coming from her side. And it was like very strong and trying to invade the space. But just for all intents purposes, Dina's very smart. Dina has an energy that if she gets it under control, it is she will research something really, really well. She will go and she's very thorough. And so I definitely like that about her. But there's something that is also that is there that is out of control, her control. And so anyway, long story short, at the meeting, these people was trying to get over. They was trying to say something because it was people sitting here, and then I was sitting at the table and my group was sitting behind me. And so during this time, we were able to talk, and I don't know how it was that, she was listening to what they were saying the same way I was listening to what they were saying. And out of nowhere, it was a signal that happened, amongst us. And she said what she said to me, and all of a sudden, I'm like, Dina got the floor. So Dina starts to now go through whatever it was that they was talking about. Anyway, long story short, it was a no-go. But whatever it was that she had researched, it was something that was previously before that nobody knew anything about, which ended up saving all of our asses. So again, everybody is important to the system. And this is the other thing. But when you're doing the wrong things, I can't help you. You're going to have to go to God about it. Everybody's important to the system. So the thing about this is this. Somehow I got to be sitting in a seat, maybe because I might have been the one that was the representation of it. And this is why I always say, like, leadership, like, we don't, because I would always choose to play to the back. But somehow I keep getting put here, maybe because I'm the one that will push the button and have the conversation. It says sharing insights and boundaries. So maybe because I'm the one that would share the conversation. In leadership, if everything goes right, it's the team's win. So it was their win because she caught whatever that was. But we have a great team. We have a great collective. But if anything goes wrong and it goes bad, it's my fault. So this is why I say all the time, even when people come in and they start, putting stuff into the system, like they'll start just saying random stuff, I got to go look it up, because I can't let that just be a part of the system and I don't go look it up. And this is why I also keep saying I'm not going to debate with nobody about their belief system, because at this point, that's beating a dead horse. We already know where the problems are. We're out of covenant. We're off time. Everybody knows that. We also see that even when your grandmother, and I don't care what your grandmother religion was, y'all grandmoms kept saying, we at the end of days, God is coming. Well, sooner or later, it's not coming. God is here. And so at some point in time, we have to also know that this time we have to get it right. We can't kill God when God shows up. every time we let them kill God. And if we all are entrusting that God is God from the beginning, we have to fight for what we know is right. And so, even in the midst of me saying, like, a person, I pray that I know the person, you know, my person, when they show up. I pray that I know who this individual is, right? So that's my prayer to you know, to God. Like, whoever this person is, I pray that when the right person shows up, I accept it, and we do miraculous things, because God has set forth for me miraculous things, right? Excuse me. And only a person that is of God in the right way is going to be able to fulfill whatever it is that we are supposed to do together. And whether that is to advocate for God when God shows up, and to make sure that this time we don't let the enemy drag or kill or try to destroy. Because anything that shows up doing miracles, mind you, I'm asking for miracles. So how am I going to ask for a miracle and then allow y'all to kill it when it shows up? It's the union of self, a gathering together of parts I have held away. Like, nah, I must know now make a shape of a, I must now make a shape of and place that shape within me. I've never been completely me until now. Union. I love that, because that is also one of the things. It is wholeness, seeking yourself. It is also the reason why I said, when everybody kept saying, oh, you should be over, you know, whatever situation, and I said, that situation, yeah, I could be over that, but I had to find myself. And you can't find yourself laying up underneath of somebody else. You can't do that. And whether or not people think that that's your way, if you can do that, then that's fine. But I can almost guarantee you that even in the covenant and even in the pathway, it ain't there. This is the reason why they telling you about parasites and things of that nature, because people not even realizing that you're not supposed to be married to this person. Because literally when everybody got dispersed, God told people, you can't marry this group of people. Mind you, that's exactly why if you marry somebody, it felt like a curse. Like, the minute I took on that last name, that connection, it felt like a curse. But mind you, God been saying that the whole entire time. But here I am, a sucker for a love ass hoe, not paying attention. But every time that connection happened, something kept happening. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Yes, we had good sex. Yes, we had, it was always the things that probably are on this list. Disobedience, lying, deceit, unforgiveness, hatred, pride, immorality, idolatry, because I love that person. Like, even in the midst, I bartered with God for that nigga, knowing good and daggone well God saying, this person, this is gonna hurt you. This is how, when God's saying we're hard-headed, she says same, and I didn't even take the name. I'm trying to tell you. So if you wonder why certain things, like, and even in when they talk about karmics, right, and you getting together with a karmic is meant to show you, like, that's a lesson, right? So for all intents and purposes, we can think of it as a bad thing, or we can think of it as a good thing, because it's showing us that we don't need that, or this is where we're weak at, right? But mind you, we like it's like the flesh, the eye. So we look at something, we like, man, like, you know how I was on the phone the other day looking at that nigga because, you know, he cute. But mind you, my whole entire spirit kept saying, we ain't gonna do this, we ain't gonna do this, we not gonna take this on because we not gonna take this on because it's the same as the last one. It's the same as this. Mind you, you've done so much work. Why would you waste all of this work that you have done and then accept something that's out of covenant with you? Because the thing that is going to be in covenant with you is going to be of the kind that is of your kind. It's going to be a blessing and not a curse. It's going to be a connection, a wholeness. It's going to be like, have y'all ever hugged somebody? Even small things. She said even small things, y'all. Like, he would reach for my hand and hold it and scratch me. See what I'm saying? Like the other day, and this is another thing. I watched, social media will teach you a lot about couples and things of that nature. I forgot who I was watching the other day, right? Ari. I love fucking Ari. I don't know nothing about this girl, but Ari, ever since she went through, and I don't know if she realized like the part that is the part yet, but I can tell when she started saying she don't know what happened. But listen, I watched how that boy, she with Moneybag Yo. I watched how he looks at her and how she looks at him. It is a thing, and they could be, going to go through whatever they go through, but when you see people that genuinely, like, it is innocent, and, people will insert themselves, and they have to go through whatever, but look at how he looks at her. It ain't for show. It's almost like when anybody even knows that they got a camera on them, like, it's like they try to not, but you can tell. Like, when I see them look at each other, it makes me smile. It's not forced. It's not like, oh, we trying to do this, or we trying, because people will get in a connection with you to try to get on somebody else's nerves. So what she said about the man trying to scratch her, right? Abby, what you said? She said, you can tell he didn't mean to. It was just off. We got to pay attention to everything. So listen, it's a girl. When I tell you people don't like you and will hold you hostage. So a lady is filming the nigga drunk. Like he looked like wherever he was having a good time. Or he was trying to, chase them demons, and because he might not like her either. Anyway, so she's filming him. This nigga done got out the car. He done fell, bust his head on the garage door. And she's like, get up. First of all, if the first thing you're going to do is grab a camera to film me falling and all this, they don't like you. They don't like you. And it's just the ways that certain things get done that I do not like. You can tell these people don't like you. Y'all remember that video that I showed y'all, and I said that lady came on and she so long story short, as she's trying to get him, like he don't have no balance. When you love somebody, ain't no phone coming out. You use both hands to make sure that your person don't hurt themselves. Why are you filming? That man need to run away from her. Because that right there said to me, and people will try to use it. Oh, well, it was just all fun and games. No, bitch. You don't like him. And you try to embarrass him. Don't be with nobody that's going to try to embarrass you. Like that right there. And it's care that you give to somebody that is, intoxicated. And I can tell you a different story. So a couple just got married, right? And he had all his groomsmen carry him out. Somebody was recording. It was the cutest thing because she was right there. The man was holding him. But you can tell this nigga, she said, I just married my best friend. So you can tell the difference in when something is being done to embarrass you and when something is being done and it's given, this is going to be the memory that we need, that is like, you can tell. Up until we be karmic, out here laying traps for days. Girl. Striker is not lying. We be karmic out here laying traps for days. Daytime is measured by change, day into night. Growth, decay. They will change a cycle and do different, be divine timing. And everything is based off of divine timing, because literally, Abby said, period. Everything is based off divine timing, because even when man inserts himself into the timing, because man has inserted himself into the timing, be mindful, because again, we talking about God gave you a pathway to make sure that you do it right. God gave you information to make sure that you don't get connected with this group of people, because these group of people ain't for you. But mind you, somebody came in and they decided that let's play a little trick, the angel, because even when people talk about, like the Anunnaki and things of that nature, y'all do realize these are angels, right? Like if you go look at the connection, these are different. Like there's so many different angels connected to so many different angels, and it's like saying a alien. An alien is anything foreign. That's why I say, hold on. So let me go over here so we can make sure we got these words and connections right, because we can be talking about an ancient alien, or we can be talking about an alien right here. All right. We could be talking about an ancient alien. We could be talking about a brand new one. The word alien has a few different meanings depending on the context. So in general, an alien is someone or something that is foreign, unfamiliar, not from a particular place. So it could be right here on Earth. An example, a person from another country can be called an alien through, though today's people usually say a foreigner, right? All right, so hold on. Let me also go etymology. Because then also it makes it something different, because just think, you being a righteous person and you coming into wholeness, also into union with yourself, or also in connection with somebody else. But what if this union is to know your placement in society? Because if everything's getting wiped away, and suppose you are one of the three that is that is, I don't even want to say use the word righteous, but what if you are one of the ones that are able to create new society? Are you a good person, or are you going to be easily corrupted in the next phase? So the etymology of alien comes from Latin, and it has really interesting roots. It comes from, because we also remember we was talking about a rebranding, how things get taken away. Mind you, we got other people out here thinking, because I seen something, they said this girl that's connected to, the powers that be, the people that think that they're in control, think they're bigger than God, that they're trying to say, entertainment purposes only, that there's about to be a huge decline in people. So what which they could potentially be planning. But remember, divine timing and everything. So they could be also planning something, but God is always, right, and God has the final say. So they may be thinking that they're about to choose who, gets to be left here, or who, doesn't. But meanwhile, God is in the midst of choosing. Thank you. Thank you. The etymology of alien comes from Latin, and it's and really it says a really interesting root meaning. It comes from the Latin word alienus, 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 which means belonging to another or foreign. Alias, alius, equals other. So originally, alien literally meant something that belongs to something else, or something that is other. Mind you, I told you in one of the texts, God is referring to a creature, a baby is what we call it, but God referred to it, but they refer to it as a creature. Alien, alias, meaning another, not original, like a clone. Or it could be other creatures, because remember that somehow man and woman he created, and woman and man, and man and woman he created, and woman and man he created, like however the verbiage of it is, and then all of a sudden it goes into something different. So man and woman created man and woman he is how they use it and what they said it. And mind you, it's in all the texts. Mind you, there's something else that's there even in the midst of, because as God starts talking, and God was talking in the beginning of creation, it starts using words like us and they and we. So those words are very specific. So it says, so originally, so old French is alien, ALIEN, and then Middle English with the same idea of foreign or strange, and then it also talks about a being from another world. Then it says a foreign person or feeling out of place or different. So it could also be a feeling. So at its core, the word has always been about difference, separation, or not belonging to a certain place. So technically, you as a person could be alien to this place if you don't belong. You know, even when people go through, if you don't belong, you don't feel like you belong here. So it's like when I be saying the human sometimes, because technically I don't feel like, you know, certain people, like, you can't be real, because there's no way that you can't see the difference between God as being God and then these texts that they gave us, and how this person or this situation is trying to corrupt. Like, we can't be from the same place, because there's no way. Because even though, as much as, you know, I love to be able to read the text and see, like, I can clearly see that something ain't all the way right in the milk. We can follow certain things, but why is it that in everywhere else, everything that they have taken out, and even everything that they put in, because I say, like, even though my mom may have not taught me something, in the fact that she didn't teach me, she taught me. So if you can't see that, even when somebody don't teach you something and you still learn something, they still taught you. But somehow people can't wrap their mind or their brain around, when one thing happens, so does the other. It's as above, so below. As within, so without. So when God created this, he also said in that creation story that the lower also was created also. There is the abyss. So when a person, and it may be just the thing sometimes that we get it mixed up, because Tartarus and Tartaria, for some reason, I seen a person and they were standing 10 toes down, but the abyss is where God sent the angels, Tartarus. So when one thing exists, it's like when I said about the pygmies. They saying that the giants existed. Why did I not wrap my head around the fact that if the giants existed, then so did the little people? Then it made me think. They wrote a whole script, a whole story, and not that the Smurfs, but the Littles. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was a whole little show. We are the Littles. And where is the Littles? That meant that when they started making this, where are the dragons? Because literally, this is another thing. They'll start showing us stuff, and then they be like, oops, we didn't mean to show y'all that. But even on the Chinese zodiac sign, my Chinese zodiac sign is a dragon. That, you're trying to tell me I'm the only mythical creature that is listed there? Every other one of them is a real animal. You're not going to tell me that. The fact that it's even there says that it existed. But why do you want to tell us that it's not? Mind you, why, when God created a creature, God is not wrong. When God created a creature, God is not wrong. The fact that God allowed it to be created says it was meant to be here. I remember the Fraggles are down at, yeah, see what I'm saying? Little people. So, and like the Smurfs, they keep showing this stuff and then they want to act like it's not. But then it's like, why would that be the only mythical being? Why, when God says something is good, why do certain groups of people feel like they should go and kill it? The giants hiding, entertainment purposes only, because in my mind, and I probably would stand 10 toes down on this, it's still some giants around this bitch. They just in locations where they're not trying to interrupt and interfere with us, because they know that y'all got weapons and y'all will kill it. Only want to know about what they can control. Yes, they do or don't exist. They can't tell me they didn't. Well, that I swear I just seen something the other day, but in my mind, I think they're all in caves. Like, I think all the things that we are not supposed to engage with is somewhere in a mountain, somewhere in a cave, because that's the only way that they're going to be safe from us. We, the people, are the problem. But we, the people, should not be a problem, because just like God gave them space, God said we have dominion, not authority to kill. Because actually, that's one of the things that if we go right up here, idolatry, disobedience, lying, deceit, unforgiveness, hatred, pride, immorality, kill, steal, destroy is a certain group of people, and that's not us. It's like when a man, whoever that was in the channel yesterday, and he said, Google, and this ain't a race thing, because, you know, we ain't beefing about race, we ain't beefing about religion. But if you Google, and this is what the person said, Google when white people showed up on the earth, right? Mind you, literally Google when white people showed up on the earth. It literally says 7,000 to 8,000 years ago. Like, mind you, so somebody showed up and said that. It says your life contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Reason, body exposure, and sexualized behaviors. Somebody did that. Because ain't nobody gonna say, like, somebody just did that. Where is body exposure at? That don't even make no sense. But you see how the ops do, they want to control. So somebody just did that. Somebody just sent a flag to my channel saying that I'm showing body parts. What body parts do you see? That's a hating ass op, bitch. All right, let me see how I fix this. Cause I gotta appeal it, but yeah, somebody. Okay, where did it go? It wasn't even the entertainment purposes only, Abby. It was somebody said that I showed some body parts. But mind you, it's not showing where the actual for me to appeal it. It says my life is restricted because I had sexual something over here. Which is crazy. Restricted for some audience. Your live contains themes that some may feel uncomfortable, has been restricted. Reason, body exposure. It says I expose my body. But it's not giving me a way to appeal this. But ain't no daggone way. See what I'm saying? People just be wanting to enter into, and it don't even make no sense. This is people that just need a hug from their mama. Like, why are you over here? Like, figure out something to do with yourself. And I gotta appeal it before I get off here, because otherwise, if I hang up, then it's not gonna let me appeal it, and they'll be trying to think that I did that, and I'm not letting nobody think that I did that, because what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that don't even make no damn sense. Who is this? You see what I'm saying? It's the distractions and the disruption. That's it. That's all. Did they just put me on restriction and not let me appeal it? Because I don't see where it's even trying to let me appeal it. Nah, you do good. Great freestyle chat. That's all I had today, because, you know, we had to figure out what was being talked about. I just know that I had the message. What you showing body parts? They are hating. Yeah, that's what they said. They said I'm showing body parts, but mind you, it's not letting me appeal it. Like, literally, it's not giving me no. Normally, it'll say you can appeal this. It ain't giving me nothing. So I think that maybe it might also be because that's what they put there, but I feel like sometimes it be TikTok just really fucking hating for real, because where the hell did you get that from? Mind you, not giving me nowhere to appeal this shit at. So what is that about? Like, it's not giving me nowhere to appeal it. It's just saying I got a good connection, real-time performance. Yeah, nothing that's saying I don't know. So we just gonna say fuck it, cause cause I could download it, but you know what they did last time? Last time they tried this shit, and I tried to download it, and all of a sudden this one was missing. So it didn't let me download the chat. Didn't let me download the video in order to tell them that whatever your system is doing, I didn't do that. And so no way to appeal. It's not saying nothing. It just is saying that my live is restricted from some audiences as if this is adult. I'm gonna just leave it because ain't nothing I can do about it. I don't know. It don't say nothing to appeal. Anyway, it says it's about anything that pulls your heart away from God. So that's the important part. Anything that pulls your heart away from God. So just imagine even the connections that you could be in with a marriage. You asking God, for a connection, a partnership, because here we are. We're all gathered here and we're about to go into a covenant because a marriage, and we're all gathered here, is a covenant. And that's between you, this person, and God. We are all gathered here. What's the and this is, look, I do this right, and I type it in here because the way I got it set to be able to say the politically correct thing. Because I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but I type it there because the way I programmed it, I tell it I'm on social media. And because I don't want it to trigger saying that I said nothing. So that's why I type it here. So then it'll pull up whatever it's going to pull up. And then, we go from there. But technically, the fact that I even got to do this should tell you about this program and what we're actually sitting in right now. So, I said we're all gathered here. I'm reminded of that Prince song, Dearly Beloved. Oh, yeah. And he had the echo in the background, didn't he? I love Prince. Yes, entertainment purposes only. Apparently, we're going to have to say that because they out here saying I'm being nude or something, so that's crazy. Anyway, it sounds like you're asking about the covenant between you, God, and your partner is a deeper spiritual sense. Because this is what we have to also be mindful. That when we go into covenant, when we go into a marriage, when we go into a connection, we go into a partnership, a lot of times we focus on that person. Meanwhile, we still need to be focusing on God. Hey, Medina, welcome. Thank you for being here. We still need to be focusing on God. And anytime we put a person in front of God, it's an idol. Period. See what I'm saying? Because anyway, it's Earth School. So it still needs to be fun. But we got to remember that God is the prize. And everything. So the covenant with God. This is your personal relationship with God. It's based on faith, trust, obedience, and love. Do y'all remember God when y'all remember the person? This is another reason why I said I'm not going to be with no other person that don't know how to pray. If I ask you to pray, matter of fact, they should be automatically praying, but this is where y'all boundaries come in. So just know that apparently something is, this close. Do you have boundaries? What's your boundaries? What is your, what they call them? Non-negotiables. One of my non-negotiables is you definitely need to be like God first, even before me. Because if you put God before me, guess what? You're going to have to go to God about me anyway. Do you know how to pray? What is y'all non-negotiables? And y'all don't have to tell me, but if you choose to, then you can. But when it comes to God and your partnership or God and your connection, and if you don't know, now might be the time to start writing it, because if we're gathered here today, that means that wholeness, oneness, connection, partnership is this like this. Mind you, when I was saying I was talking to God last night, I literally was talking to God about it. Like, you know how you, even when you see in relationships and things of this nature, like it was that thing. Because I keep seeing people in relationships, showing up randomly on my timeline. And it instantly, and I'm not trying to judge nobody's relationship because everybody can do what they want. But I'm quick to tell God what I want. Like when I see certain people, like if we gotta overly try to, if it's not natural, I don't want it. Like it just gotta be natural that I just want to be on your ass. If it's not natural, I don't want it. Like if it gotta look forced and we gotta, put on for the lights, I don't like that. Like I want it to be like we want to be here, and you can tell that we want to be here because I know what that feels like. Abby said, and I got to look at your fruit. Let me see. What you got through God. Like, and just so y'all know, I don't think she even means like, oh, you gotta have, or you gotta be a rich nigga. No, that's not even it. People fail to realize, like, it's some people that is rich that don't have to have money. Like, it's some people that is rich, like, they love life. They just enjoy, let's do, and ain't gotta be nobody that's broke either, but, it is, like, we can do it together. Because we gonna be able to, create a bag based off of God knowing that, this universe, this world is, whatever it is, and until God fixes it till it's not that, then we gonna know that, we can make it together. But not when I done been in a relationship, oh, I'm trying to, help you do this, that, or the third, and you not trying to help yourself. Like, I'm not doing that. You gotta know that we can do it. She said facts. Anybody can say they pray, but let me see. Exactly. P-R-A-Y, because a nigga can pray P-R-E-Y. Period. On your ass. The witness is the idol or God. We stand together in front of it to be joined in the presence. We now want God to see us two as one. Yes, and this is the other thing. Be mindful that even in covenants, because it was funny to me when I was talking about the priest. So the lineage, Aaron being the priest, right? Because his lineage, 2 sons, those were the priestly line. They couldn't marry somebody that was already married, or they couldn't marry a prostitute, remember? And based off of biblical terms, this, that, and the third. So, of course, that would be a curse. This is the reason why I'm saying certain things, like the way that God had divine timing, the way that God had already set up the universe for all of us, it was already organized to where you knew that you stayed in your lane. But mind you, when people started moving over here and people started coveting somebody else's property, because remember we talked about that too. Remember I was reading the text and it said this person didn't want to be over here on this land. They wanted to move over here on this land. But God had already ordained you to be over here and to only marry these people. Children of Israel, not allowed to marry the Canaanites. But remember, same mom, same dad, Esau, his line, went and married the Canaanites. But Jacob's line was not allowed to do that. They had to be in this covenant. You're only allowed to marry allowed to marry Israelite women. If you married outside of that, it's a curse. Remember, Esau then wanted to get back in line, and he went and married an Israelite woman after that. But he had already corrupted the bloodline with the Canaanites. Remember, in the book of Jubilees, God talked about Jacob before Jacob even existed. So when God already talked about you before you even existed, what does that tell you? When God gave you dominion over the earth and your biggest op is an angel, like for all intents and purposes, this angel walked around God, was able to talk to God, literally bore the stones around his neck, was the most beautiful cherub, the connection, and all he ever been is a hater. To you, to me, to God. This has been the biggest op. So they know the tricks of the trade. They know, oh, you're going to like this. Let me, send this person along because it's going to be pleasing to the eyes. But mind you, it ain't going to be pleasing to your soul. And who don't want to be in connection with a person, like, because it says man shall not be alone. So everybody wants to feel, the love, the this, that, and the third. But sometimes we just be out here settling and taking anything just because we be bored. You're not supposed to do that. Not realizing that the essence of life, anything that is saliva or DNA or anything else, could potentially corrupt your spirit, your soul, your body. We just talked about semen. Mind you, just imagine if you start teaching your kids about that. Don't get in connection with this person, because it's so much more than just pregnancy and things of that nature. It is a parasite. Them to you, you to them. Alien, foreign. It's going to throw your system off. This is why people's pH balance be off. This is why y'all niggas be having, whatever stuff y'all be having in y'all system, entertainment purposes only. When y'all get with the wrong woman, they turn into succubus on your ass, and then you wonder why you having so many issues, because you over here fooling with outside of your covenant. Covenant with your partner, with God at the center. So this is more than just a relationship. It's a spiritual agreement. It's a spiritual agreement between you, this person, and God. It means love each other faithfully. I feel like even in the thing, I don't know how the old books say, because I'm going to have to look it up, like when it came to connection, because technically it was you going to marry this person because this is the covenant. It didn't have nothing to do with whatever they were saying it up to love, honor, obey, this, that, and the third. We get ready to increase the bloodline. This is the covenant. This is what it is. Your knowledge is mind-blowing. God been making me listen and read some stuff. So that's it. That's all. I've been in listening to downloads and things. But even in this point, right, where it talks about covenant, one of the things that I have seen, because I had it written on my mirror, right, and it was the funniest thing, because it said, men love your wife and wife respect your husband. Because women need love and men need respect. But I feel like everybody needs everything. Like, women need love and respect. I've been celibate for a year. Well, guess what? This is 5. I think, about 5 years. But mind you, it was because I was going to find myself. I wasn't going to get connected with nobody else, because this time I asked for God to do it. Striker said she been celibate for 3 years now. She said, period, preach, lady. Striker, I'm working on 5. But guess what? Whatever I had to do in order to make sure I do it right this time, and who knows, I'm not even going to say I got it all the way down, but this time I was being very obedient and listening, because I had to figure out me first. Because just imagine, we have all been programmed this whole entire time to do, and to do. Abby said 2.5 years for me. I love that for all of us, because that means that we done took some time, and it don't matter, because there's people who did more time and people who are doing less time. The fact of the matter is we are actively trying to figure out, or actively being accountable. I'm gonna say that, because we also know that we could have been the problem. Because who knows? Can we all say that we've been perfect? Because even in the book, when I told y'all, when I was just listening to that, God said, you can't just say that you haven't committed a sin, because just by a thought, that would be a lie. She said, Chico, put some respect on it. On accountability. Yes, it's accountability. We're being accountable for ourselves, because we could be the karmic. She just said it earlier. Cultivating self-respect. And respect, ladies, and period. So it takes a special type of person to realize, maybe I should just sit myself down and figure out what I got going on. Like, I'm not mad at the other, or the other side. I want to be in love with somebody. I want to be all up on you, but I want to be the right thing for you. I want to be a blessing and not a curse. I don't want to be something to do at this moment in time. I don't want to waste nobody's time. And I don't want nobody wasting my time either. I don't want to be that lady, that one that I told y'all that time when I said she think he the problem. That lady filmed her man sitting in the car. Didn't want to come in the house. And I told y'all, I went in that lady comments and I said, oh, and she thinks he's the problem because he don't want to come in the house. The minute I heard her talk, I knew why he didn't want to go in the house. She triggered me. I don't even live with them. I ain't want to go in the house. And then she proceeds to now, he decides to pack up his stuff and he decides that he wants to leave. Great for him having some boundaries. Because who did you think you are? She thought all the women were just going to jump on her side. No, ma'am. Like, right is right and wrong is wrong. He said, I'll be having lustful thoughts, though. At least you admitting it. And this is the thing, accountability. I done had a few lustful thoughts, too, because some of y'all be fine. Like, you know, psych, but for real. You know, it be the thoughts. And then the energy, because like I said, you know, somebody may have thought about me once or twice. I can feel it. They be doing some shit they ain't got no business. But anyway, the lady, now she's blaming Joe Budden and some other niggas, some other podcasts for her relationship falling apart because she filmed her man sitting outside in the car, and then she proceeds to say, I just wanted people to know that, you know, I come home and he said guilty. Yeah, he was sick of her. I was sick of her. So then she says, I just wanted people to know that I was tired, you know, hard working woman. No, what you did was show that you lack accountability, because now you're blaming the podcasters instead of you and your behavior and your mouth. When she said, I'm gonna get in the car with you, and he locked the door, I was so proud of that man. Like, because I ain't running in the car with him either. The man was sleeping peacefully. Like, you could have just left that man in the car minding his own business. You could have went and wrote a note and put a little sticky note on the car and said, when you wake up, come into the house. I love you. I got something hot for you to eat, and I got the tub running. Like, that man would have been in the house quick soon as he opened that, as soon as he seen that note. Like, it's ways to show somebody that you love them without disturbing them. He said, yeah, hell yeah. I would have backed out the driveway. Me too. Now just imagine, though, if you woke up from your nice little peaceful rest that you was having in the car, and there was a sticky note right on your car, on your window, that you could not see. Baby, when you come into the house, I got some food cooking for you. Look like you had a stressful day. I wanted to leave you peacefully sleeping. I ran the tub for you. The kids are down, and, you know, everything's good. So I can't wait to see you. Wouldn't that have been a better way than you bringing your ass outside with all that? Like, you was getting on my nerves. And I ain't lived there. And as soon as she said he was packing his stuff, I literally went in the comments, good for him. Because we got to learn to have some boundaries. And you ain't peaceful. Love is easy. People make it hard. But mind you, that's also what it said. It said the covenant may sound like a whole lot of rules to somebody that it ain't even in. But when the covenant is in you and you are a blessing, it don't sound like no whole lot of rules. You'll be able to do it easy. So have y'all ever noticed, and this is for anybody, have y'all ever noticed that when you really like somebody, you want to do for them? It's like they don't even got to ask you. You already preparing to do something for a person. But when you don't like them, everything they ask gets on your nerves and it feel like work. This is how we know when we should stop talking to people when it's over, because our energy starts to say it. It's like what I said about the people that come in and instantly, you know, they start doing this thing, and my energy instantly don't like them. You don't have to, because I ain't trying to be in covenant with you. You can be who you are. I'm just not going to be with you. That is my intuition saying this ain't it. Like, if I got to keep debating with you, I ain't doing it. That's not going to be peaceful in my house. And I don't like that. Yep, when it becomes a chore. Yes. But it be some people, like, you just be, oh, I want to figure out how to make this person smile today. I know they may have had a long day at work. So you try to make everything easy for them. I'm not going to try to make nothing hard for you. I'm not going to try to embarrass you. I'm not going to try to have to love you. It's already going to be in me. It's part of the covenant. So, the sacred union, a moment of commitment, saying, I want to be here. She said that's love right there, and period. Mind you, I also think, here go finesse. I told you he gets on my nerves, but I swear, every time he be saying something, it's like he makes sense. Like, and it's crazy that, I gotta listen to all that yelling to get to the sense. But he said, first he was talking about the Gucci thing. He was saying something about that, and he said that it was the wife. He did say that, which I'm kind of in agreement, but also I ain't gonna put my mouth on nobody's, marriage or anything of that nature. But when it came to the commitment part, like a person, it's a certain way, like, I forgot what he said, because literally it just made me laugh just even thinking about him, because he just that man is, he's his own special breed. And I'm telling you, it takes work to even, but if you listen to him, he makes sense. I remember one day he was talking to Suge, right? And he ain't wrong. Like, he should definitely, I think sometimes, in my mind I be thinking, she may enable him, but I feel like also it takes a special breed of woman to deal with him. But he literally was saying to her, he said, I told you I don't want nobody in my room. And this was his reasoning for it. And I swear, this might be why I got the love-hate relationship with him, because I swear I might be the same entity. But I couldn't take all that yelling. That is too much for me. So he said, I told you not to have nobody come into my room, because his game was set up and all his features and everything was exactly like he liked it. He said, and whether or not somebody touch it or not, I'm not blame them for coming into my room. He ain't wrong. Because guess what? It could have been your energy that came in the room and started, stuff start moving. And the fact that you was in here after I told you not to be in here is what's annoying me. And she steady saying, well, they only came in here for a minute and it don't matter. I told you not to let nobody come in here, because if anything happens, I'm going to blame them, even if they ain't touch it. He ain't wrong, because soon as the energy comes through the door, like, I be glitching the gas pumps. But if my son get out the car and he pump the gas, it don't happen. This energy don't match with this energy. Don't come in here. And he explained it very nicely. But he be loud regardless of the fact. And then he be extra hyper when he explaining it. So the way he just was doing it was probably the thing that was making me be like, now, like, I still gotta agree with him. He ain't wrong. He just doing whatever he doing. But I'm starting to realize he makes a whole lot of sense. Just couldn't be me. Like, I love him. He did explain. Like, I love him, but I love him for her. Cause man, I've been finding the light in the darkest, forming my own bonds with yes. And that's what I'm saying. So I would never judge him. Like, that would be my homeboy. We would have a great time. But I love him for her. Cause she the only person, and the way she just deals with him, like, you know what I'm saying? She be patient with him. Mind you, I love how she looks at him too. It's the craziest thing, because you could tell, like, even like the crash out when she wasn't around, you could tell he loved her too. Cause this nigga was going through it. Like, I was so glad when she got her ass out of jail. Cause man, like, don't ever leave him ever again. Don't leave him with us on the social media. Like, cause man, this nigga's crazy. But I love his crazy for her. Cause what the hell, sir? But then the funny part is, the nigga's smart. Even with everything that he is, like, he's smart. Because if you listen to him, like, I just couldn't get past the fact that every time I scroll, he was yelling. Like, why are you yelling at us? I don't even know what we talking about here, but, But if you actually listen to him and you can get past the yelling, this nigga's actually smart. He gonna take you the long way around the conversation, but you know, don't we all? So a covenant is just not a promise. It's a sacred commitment that involves God, and it's meant to last, grow, and be honored. So now your pamphlet has been taken, right? Because Abby said he did explain. Abby, he did explain in the right way. Like, he literally explained to the tune of, it pissed me off that, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I have said that? That's crazy. Because he be saying stuff and you be like, well, he ain't wrong. It's the weirdest thing. But anyway, he just has his own way of doing things. A sacred commitment that involves God, and it's meant to last and grow and be honored. Now, the sacred commitment, even in wholeness, is with you. Your covenant with God that you're supposed to do certain things. You're supposed to, you know, have certain moments and certain times, but just think that as of now, you're not fulfilling your commitment. How does that make you feel? Like somebody else standing in the way, and now you're not allowed to be able to, or you haven't been able to fulfill the covenant that you made with God, your contract that you signed. And he said that's his way of explaining it. It was. I liked it. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I actually gave him credit because he did explain it, and he explained it nicely to the tune of, I got it. So, you know, she was trying to say what she was trying to say, but he had her. Like, there's no way around that. But just imagine, even in accountability, so you're saying you love God, right? Imagine if you find out that God gave you an inheritance and someone stepped in. Because actually God gave you an inheritance. And somebody did step in. So everything that I'm saying is not you know, sci-fi. It's real. But because somebody else outside of you decided that they were going to leave out some information, how does that make you feel? What would you do? Because, and for all intents purposes, if God gave you something and you know that it's yours to have, they even gave you instructions. There was what you call that thing, a will left. So God left you a will, and the attorneys, or you know, people connected to that, decided to change the rules on the will. Because that's the equivalent of that. Sit with that for a minute. The rules were you had to stay in covenant. You had to marry certain people or a certain place. You had to make sure that your temple, your body, everything stayed purified in a way that you weren't supposed to eat this. You wasn't supposed to connect with these people over here. But mind you, you finding that out right now. How would you feel about that? And then you also find out that in the process, the people that God left the information with are the people that did it, and they took it. Just imagine, even right now, it is people calling for wars and destruction and everything else. Mind you, they're trying to say that they are in covenant with God. Abby said, I would feel like me and God got some work to do. Definitely. First of all, you would want to know the truth. That's the first thing, because this is why even at this moment in time, we are all calling for the truth. Y'all know what I saw that I actually loved? Remember I said that Africa is, once Africa itself, and Africa is a people, figure out how big they are. So Africa being a landmass, but also Africa being a people, whoever belonged to that people, right? Russia can fit into Africa, United States, and several other places could fit into Africa, the landmass, and somehow Africa looks like on a map that Russia is bigger than Africa, and other places on the map are bigger than Africa. But why would they do that? So in the past couple of days, there's a lady, and I don't know, what her name is, but it's some type of something coalition or something. They are now requesting that the maps be changed and that the actual sizes be corrected on the maps. Look at God. Because why would you lie like that? You would only lie like that because you're trying to put a perception in somebody's head that they're small, that somebody outnumbers you. And when the actual thing came about, when I said what I said about white people, Googling white people, because if you actually go to Google, that's when somebody sent the restriction. But if you actually go to Google and Google, when did white people come on this earth? It's going to tell you. It's 7,000 to 8,000 years. So mind you, I'm not even talking to you about color. When you go ask when black people came on this earth, it's going to say 200 to 400,000 years ago. 7,000 for white and 200,000 to 400,000 for black. I'm not even talking to you about a color, though. What I'm talking to you about is, why would somebody feel the need to tell you a lie? Why would somebody feel the need to alter God's timing, divine timing? Why would somebody feel the need to take your inheritance or your blessing? Why would somebody feel the need to kill, steal, and destroy a covenant that was meant for you? And I don't care what color you are, because light skin, brown, you could just be a light skin, light-skinned version. So I'm not even talking to you about that. I'm talking to you about what has been done to alter your mind state to get you to perceive some things that are not. So like Gabby said, she would feel like her and God would have some work to do, right? So first of all, we got to know the truth. That would be the first thing. Second thing is, we have to be aware. That's what I said when people start to come along to try to take you off your pathway, to try to put you here, like God is directing you somewhere, but then all of a sudden some people show up and they'll say, my back is getting cold again. If I was you, I would do it this way. Or I wouldn't do it this way. Mind you, this is the way God is calling you to do it. This has been the issue the whole entire time, because God called somebody to do it this way. They gave you a pamphlet, and then other people decided to, add, remove, subtract information from the program, from the system. They didn't give you all of your information, all of your documentation. They didn't give you all of your history. Y'all, please like the live, please. Like and share if you can. Please like the live. So, being aware and standing firm in what you know. If you know it don't feel right, and we had this discussion a couple days ago, I said, how many of y'all knew something wasn't right from the time you were growing up in this system, in this simulation, when you were being conditioned to think a certain type of way or be a certain type of way? How many of y'all knew that it wasn't right? And you voiced that. And then they told you not to ask questions. But God kept telling you to ask questions. Keep seeking. Keep looking. I gave you an inheritance. They decided that you didn't deserve it, or they decided that they wanted to take it. Abby said her, me, and period. Same. So, does that not make you feel a certain type of way? Because it makes me feel a certain type of way, because to me, it's almost like that also explains why you've been seeking for so long. But one of the things is, don't let anger control you. Don't let anger control you in this situation. You have to move with wisdom, not revenge. Mind you, this is also the thing. Excuse me. That was me for so long. That was a lot of us for so long, Chico. Even when people, finally get to the realization and starting to understand or starting to understand that, they, right down to the words, to the language that they gave us, they've been trying to manipulate, lie. I finally got to the point where I stopped saying shit. Well, this is the other part. Now, this is the thing. This is the beauty of it all. You don't even have to say nothing to them. All you had to do was start acknowledging it and start praying to God. And start asking God for the truth. Start asking God to make you aware. Start asking God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And then all of a sudden, everything started dropping into your lap. Because guess what they can't do? Control your mind. Keep your mind sane. Allow me to be able to, very much be aware, because that was one of the things. And also the other part is this. If something is truly meant for you, what's meant for you will always be yours. It cannot be permanently taken from you. And this is why the people are afraid. Remember I told you that man said he was afraid? Mind you, it's people in different countries saying that they're afraid of certain people. Why? Because the minute you become aware, but then there's a whole nother task even in the midst of that. Because when the people are aware and everybody becomes aware, are certain people going to move with the collective in mind, or are they going to move with themselves in mind? Because you have to remember that we're all a part of whatever's taking place. So it's like when I said about the UN, and I might be writing them again because I'm going to stay on their nerves. And I be trying not to bother people, but I think that I should be bothering people. Because we can't say that, one thing is a grave, crime against humanity, because mind you, now everybody using words, they being big boys and they saying war crimes and this, that, and the third. But a war crime is against the people over here as well. If you came over here and you used your dominance, but mind you, it's people hiding in the shadows, because Spain, France, all of these foreign countries, these people are over here because of them. That's a war crime. You came in, you basically uprooted people, and then you decided to try to wipe away whole cultures. That's crimes against humanity and war crimes, and God get them. Like, it's right now, everybody's pointing fingers. If you notice what's going on, everybody's pointing fingers as to who was wrong. Mind you, ain't nobody made no moves to come get y'all people yet, though. It's like even them other people, them people that they dealing with right now. I keep trying to tell people, these people doing the Lord's work. Because if you notice, everything that they sent, and mind you, this is the other thing. If Lego don't start making Legos like that, because I'm sure Lego could, definitely benefit from everything that's happening right now. Because I'm sure people would be buying them Legos like that. But the fact of the matter is are y'all paying attention to the message that they're giving? They ain't got no beef with us, and we ain't got no beef with them. We ain't got no beef with nobody. That's the other part. We just want people to leave us alone. Allow us to do what we need to do. We ain't beefing with nobody. Stop trying to put your foot, your hands, your all that in our mix. Leave us alone. We ain't never had no beef with nobody. Somehow they keep trying to make sure we don't have, make sure you can't feed your family, make sure you can't grow, make sure you can't evolve. Like, that's been their biggest thing. And like I said, God get them. Because you know how for all intents purposes, the people, what I said, it gives me a different thought process about, the separating the wheat from the tare. If in fact that it takes God to be able to, because why do we got to perish and try to leave them the earth? No, get them off the earth and allow us to grow in a way in which we should, like, let us see if we could do it. Let us see if we could try. So it was, because I typed it in here, separating the wheat from the tare. The biblical phrase about separating what is good from what is false or harmful. So that's really what that text, that the one out, where was it? This one right here. Esdras. It's Esdras. The hidden prophecies.
Said, hear me, and I shall inform thee, and tell thee wherefore thou art afraid. For the highest will reveal many secret things unto thee. He hath seen that thy way is right, for that thou sorrowest continually for thy people, and makest great lamentation for Sion.
It says the hidden prophecies of the end times.
The meaning of the vision which thou...
It's the Esdras is also the Apocrypha part of that too, but be mindful, because again, even in the midst of listening, have some discernment and know that people be, narrating for themselves or not. Okay, so that's what I was listening to. But even in that, it was saying like the good people being separated from the bad people, but sometimes some people will portray themselves as good people. Meanwhile, God see, know, and hear everything that they do. So they will present themselves as good people, but meanwhile, when you start going to, fact check, they got skeletons and things, children falling out their closets, and all types of other stuff. So what we can't see with the human eye, God can see with the spiritual eye. So it's also even that. Like, one time, and I can use this as example. One time I had this mom and son when I was doing Uber, right? And so the son, very handsome young man, but for some reason the mom, I felt like she was, picking up the vibes from me, and she was, trying to pitch her son, right, after he got out. Anyway, long story short, they were from the island, and I don't know why I'm always getting a whole lot of island people. And she said that she loved her son, and he, for all intents purposes, he's a very good man. But this mother said, but I don't know what he do when he ain't with me, so I'm not going to vouch for him in front of God or anybody else. But she right though, because for all intents purposes, a person may act one way in front of us and then a whole nother way in front of other people, because I can vouch for that for being a mother, because one of my sons, the youngest one, I kept saying he his demeanor, because he always stayed in his room, so you never really seen him unless it's something to eat, this and the third, so he always gets very quiet. Even when I would take him out places, when he was younger, he would always get behind me, like he didn't like other people outside of that. And then one day, but mind you, this has been his whole entire life, everybody would tell me that he was cussing. Everybody would tell me that, he would be giving them the middle finger and all types of other stuff. But to me, he presented as very shy. Long story short, it could be the, the influence of older kids, because for all intents purposes, there's a video that he was in as a young child. And I told him, these are the things that later on will come up, and, you'll be famous for something. And then, they'll be like thinking that you were a little child still. Mind you, you're a grown man, but this is the thing this is the internet. So something that could go viral 20 something years later, because now he's a grown adult. But there's a video where the older kids, my son and them was involved in doing rap videos and stuff when they was younger. And when he was about 3, he was the intro to their video. And he said, it's the belly of the East, da-da-da-da-da, right? Mind you, I had nothing to say, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, I don't really deem that cuss words are a bad thing, and I waited my whole life to cuss. But also in the process, I didn't know the video took place until the video, started circulating, right? And so I told him, I said, these are certain things. And the fact of the matter is, later on, he ended up now, doing, music and things of that nature. And I said, it's crazy because certain things will surface back around and somebody will think it's new. Meanwhile, you a whole grown ass man. So we don't know when it'll happen, but this is how life goes, right? And so it is, knowing yourself You don't know people outside of you. Other people, because then later on something happened and the person said, oh, I did this. Even the people that you be with, because a whole ass nigga told me that, oh, I beat his ass. Well, guess what? You never told me that because you knew that would be the end. And if he had told me, that would have been your end. Why did you wait till a certain point in time? But that also says something about the person. Because why would you do something to a kid when their parent is not around? That's a predator. And you fucking weird for that. This is the reason why you may think certain things about people, but meanwhile, they be doing some other shit behind your back. So you can't vouch for nobody around here. Your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your uncle, your brother, your best friend, nothing, because we don't know what these niggas be doing when it's home. You could be thinking a person is, got everything together. Meanwhile, I'm in this bitch with a chicken suit. And although I ain't hurting nobody, but we never know what nobody else is doing, when they in their own private time. We never know their thoughts. Because you could be sitting with a person, eating with a person, and meanwhile, this person despises you, but a person saying, I love you. No, this person, Abby said facts. This person is definitely holding you hostage. Sometimes people won't let you go because they're afraid of what you're going to do with somebody else. It ain't even about the fact that, I should want to be on my pathway. They should want to be on their journey. Because to them, and if you do great things and they're not around, for some reason, it is a backlash to them. She said them actions, though. That's the real thing. It's a lot of people around here like that. They be thinking things right in your face, and God hear them. Because I told y'all, I know God be hearing, because literally God got on me the minute I said something. So I know God hears it. And sometimes you hear it too. That's them things where you be hearing shit all of a sudden, or you feel some type of way, but you not listening because, oh, it can't be this. This is my favorite such and such. That was them. That thought that you heard, it was definitely them. That was God trying to give you that was a telepathic message that you intercepted from them, but that was also God allowing you to hear what these people think about you. You could be talking to a person, right? Mind you, they talking to you right in your face, normal, this, that, and the third, or you talking to them normal, no expression, all the love under the sea. And mind you, they got the stank face on looking at you. I see it all the time. I don't understand how people be sitting right in the presence of people and don't see it, don't feel it, but we all have done it. It's just that we can see it on the outside looking in a little bit better, when it's happening to somebody else. I done seen people, this person, you be thinking, oh my God, it was a wedding yesterday. A lady and a man just got married, a black lady and a white man. And I'm looking at the video and I'm saying, is that the husband? Because the way she's acting is like she's putting on for the audience and the people. Do she know that's her husband? Because I was confused if that was a husband. Why I go to the comments? The comments said the same exact, even the people in the comments saying the same exact thing. Like she's treating him like she just met him. Like she out here, rocking. Bitch. You just got married for money or something, because ain't no fucking way you got married because you love this nigga. Because this nigga's all up on her ass. Like, you know how you want a nigga to be all up on your ass. He trying, and she like, it ain't giving no chemistry. And if he don't know it, everybody in the comments do. And he's not going to listen to it. And then in a year or two, he's going to be saying, I should have got this marriage annulled. They said it. I saw it. But no, we just be wanting to, double down on our bullshit because we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want people, seeing us a certain type of way. But meanwhile, they already saw you the certain type of way. Everybody in the comments is saying exactly what the hell I was thinking. Because ain't no way that's your new husband and that's how you acting. Ain't no way. It was all about her. So I'm telling you, I know she married that nigga for money. Ain't no way she married him for love, because she wasn't acting loving. So the wheat, what is real good, truthful, and from God. The tares, weeds, what is false, harmful, deceptive, or not from God. Because again, sometimes we sit in the presence of people, or we get aligned with people that are, not in covenant with us actually. So it's like those things when they say not evenly yoked. When you're not evenly yoked, you was never even supposed to be here. It don't go together. You know, when certain places, when Isaac was telling, his sons, he said, don't go marry outside. It's like, when people be like, to this day, they'll be saying, your parents trying to tell you that you shouldn't get married with somebody, but meanwhile, your parent is trying to keep you in covenant. Because there were rules and regulations that went along with it from the beginning. And somehow somebody decided that you didn't need to know that, because they wanted to make sure that you forfeited your inheritance because it benefited them. At this point, the whole world should start to pay attention, because this goes for all of us. Because not to mention, you're out of covenant for this, but also their rules and regulations was whatever their rules and regulations was as well. Because I told you, even in the text, God said, don't argue and fight with these people. Because they were given their own blessing. They were given their own land. They were given their own situations and circumstances to abide by. But now everybody is mixed up. Nobody knows whose rules and regulations belong to who. Everybody out here just doing whatever the hell they doing. And meanwhile, I'm over here chuckling about the fact that people out here trying to redo the resurrection, and every single one of them niggas fell off the cross. And I mean, y'all, I kid y'all not. I think I got at least 3 of them where this shit was just hilarious. I mean, literally falling off the cross. Like, you would think that it was just a whole nother one. That shit is high. Y'all. And maybe I shouldn't be laughing, but to me, I felt like that was telling us all something. Like, why are you doing that? You should. This one right here, this shit was funny. God forgive me. They enacted when he got whipped. Look at this. Turns into a whole brawl. Listen, when y'all hear the belt go across this nigga back, they hit this nigga so hard. The people in the building laughing. You hear the belt whip across this nigga back. Like, it seemed like everybody that did that yesterday, every single one of them went all the way wrong. This is literally God trying to tell y'all, stop playing. Stop playing around here, because I did not ask y'all to do this, and this is definitely out of covenant. Let me see. Then I found, do y'all know that there's an island? Y'all, I'm sorry, but it was just hilarious to me. There's an island. Millennium. This is the Virgin's backyard. It's called Mind you, there's all men there. It says inside of Mount Athos, the island where women cannot go. Mind you, it is its own island, own personal island. There's only men there. They're trying to say that they're monks, but mind you, the issue, and I ain't got nothing to say, but it say they ship young boys there. So, I mean, I ain't laughing at that. I'm laughing at Chico, but literally, even in the comments, the people are saying, "What you mean, y'all ship young? Like, there's no women allowed here because you know they want to stay." Mind you, they can't even send female animals there. Why they can't send female animals there? Y'all know why, but that exists. Did y'all know that there was a thing where they create sheep? They got big wide butts. Like, y'all can go look some of this stuff up. This world got so much stuff that these people have corrupted. It don't make no sense. But they got breeding farms for sheep. Like, we might not even be allowed to eat lamb. Like, I kid you not, because these niggas is out defiling the lamb. It's a whole farm. And I kid you not. Like, at this point in time, the covenant is so important because it is your contract between you and God, but also it is a whole prophecy of things that were to come and to, play itself out even right now, to the midst of these niggas are disgusting. They are breeding sheep for men. They got big wide butts. Do with that information what you will. Go Google it and look it up. Like, God been trying to tell us this whole entire time that this, whatever these people got going on, like the corruption and the trying to keep you outside of the covenant because of the things that they were doing, they do. Now, what are they doing with them sheep? Are they packaging that up and sending it out to the masses? Like the ones that, said they put their sins in a chicken and then they feed it to the poor? Can you imagine? Hey, Cornelius, can you imagine you buying lamb? And I like lamb. Lamb is on the list of things, you O positive. Lamb is on the list of things I like to eat. Like, I would be thoroughly disgusted to find out that my lamb came from one of these farms that a nigga been using at his leisure. And they paying for this. This is the world that y'all live in. God get them. Like, the animals ain't even safe around here. The women and the children ain't safe. But the animals not safe. And I'm not saying all, the men be doing, but it's a whole business based off this. Not evenly yoked. This is why you're not supposed to be with certain types of energies and entities and people. Honorary Celestine High. So not evenly yoked, being connected to someone who is not aligned with you, which can cause struggle, imbalance, or conflict. Do y'all remember when they said it was 70,000 men in the chat and they was doing stuff to their own mothers, their wives, their children? Certain people, certain connections you're not supposed to make. And it says we're all gathered here. So this sounds like a connection that you're supposed to be making. Are you going to have some discernment in the connection? Girl, I literally just told you what it was for. You see what I'm saying? You just came in and you telling me no. I'm telling you that's what it was for. They created one over here. You saying no, like this. That's why. See, this what you prove every day why I don't like talking to you. Because I literally said exactly that. So, get somebody else to do it. I literally said that's what it's for. They said that's what it's for. I'm not making this up. They said that's what it's for. This girl gonna say it's because they want more wool. Yeah, in a real perfect world, like that's what you would want it for. That's what I would want it for. But I'm telling you that that's not what they said they wanted for. They said they wanted for, like, that's their own words. So I get what you would want it for. I get what I would want it for. Of course, more clothing for the people. I don't know, but that's not what they're using it for. Okay, so Abby said too much like the right thing to do. Chico said they are not human. They not. They not. And they out of covenant. So mind you, we're all gathered here today. A message you need to hear. You could be getting ready to get in partnership or connection. Are you listening to God's word? Are you in covenant with whoever? Is this person even in alignment with your generational? Because guess what? If you get in alignment with the right person, do you know what happens when you stand in the presence of God in the right covenant with the right thing? It's like opening up the windows of heaven and God pouring out a blessing because you're going to be blessed. It said that they will be blessed forever doing the right thing. So it's like once you get in the right covenant, the right connection, and you are doing everything, and whether or not that be wholeness with yourself, but mind you, this says gather here today. I told you it's pulling the veil back. So that's a marriage. Somebody pulling the veil back, and you finally get to see the person, maybe the person that you were meant to be, but or the person that you are, getting together with. Is it the right person? Is it the right partnership? Is it in line with the covenant? Because remember, these people over here, these people over here, these people over here, these people over here. Everybody was given their own provisions. Children of Israel were given their own provisions. Esau was given their own provisions. Shem, Ham, all the children of Isaac were all given their own land. Everybody was given their own space. Glorious one to God. Hi, welcome. Haywood, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. So there have been provisions. There was a pathway. There was a pamphlet. There was a booklet. There was information that was given to you, your forefathers, the people. Thank you, Cornelius. The people that were in alignment with you, all in ancient texts. It was given. It was already prophesied about. It was already spoken about that this is who you are supposed to marry, connect. Remember, I told you that God was already given information about Jacob in Genesis. In the lower Genesis, or the one that they call, it's the book of Jubilees. They call it the lower Genesis. But anyway, God was already speaking to Jacob and talking about Jacob's bloodline and the children of Israel before, before Jacob even existed. A prophecy that said, Abby Grace is going to marry such and such and such and such. And then your biggest op was an angel that said, I'm going to make sure Abby Grace don't get connected with nobody. I'm going to make sure Honorary Celestine married the wrong individual. I'm going to make sure Haywood run into a lot of karmics. I'm going to make sure Glorious don't get the uploads, downloads, because I'm going to put her in the wrong place so that that way they don't see. Striker, you move to somewhere that is not even in alignment with your people. Your biggest op is an angel. A fallen angel. A celestial being. How about I say it like that? A celestial being that was around the Most High and able to now and was mad because it don't like the fact that you have a blessing so big on you, all of y'all. You have a blessing so big on you that if you're gathered here today because you're in the right location during divine timing, there's nothing that they could do to stop the blessing that God has in store for you. But meanwhile, I want to stop the blessing that God has for you. That's what they got on their mind. They want to do everything they can to send you down the wrong pathway, to get you, not listening, to get you in alignment with the wrong people, the wrong places, the wrong things. Mind you, they're coaxing you along the way. Oh, I'm your friend. You should do this because misery loves company. They fell out of grace and you are still connected under covenant. Now that's got to be some real crazy stuff right there. Like somebody being with you today, and just think of your favorite person. Your favorite person that you really truly love and would do anything for is the very person, and not saying that, but this is the equivalent of it. Your very favorite person that God that you love is sent to keep you off the pathway. That's crazy. Mind you, there's other entities, other beings that are actually actively working on your behalf, but you wouldn't trust them because they're not your favorite. Because this person knows what you like. But this person had already corrupted and violated their covenant. So now their word is, or their goal and their job is to get you off covenant and out of contract as well. I wouldn't marry that person. That person ain't good enough for you. Mind you, that person is from the right bloodline. I wouldn't do that. This the person that God telling you to marry. This the place that God is telling you to go to. This is the thing that God is telling you to do. But it be those people that be saying, don't do this. I wouldn't do it in that way. I would do it this way. Mind you, you hear God over and over and over again. One is spiritually focused, the other isn't. When two people are not aligned in beliefs, values, or purposes. When you're unevenly yoked. You have different morals or different life goals. And people be saying, oh, well, they just believe this. And maybe, one person, a lady said she was getting ready to marry a man. And they didn't believe in the holidays. But she been teaching her kids this whole entire time to believe in the holidays. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, by all intents purposes, he would be right because he would be out of covenant. But if she don't know what to do and she ain't got there yet, then either it could be good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. But the way it was sounding was that she was going to go behind him and do the things that he was telling her not to be. So technically, she would be bad for him. So it could be either one of us. One is growing and the other is not. Somebody's evolving, but the other person, you ain't drinking, drugging, doing all these things. Like, it's the thing when I said, if a person ain't doing what you doing, or a person ain't on what you on, because you can see the medicinal purposes, and God said this, but guess what? This person want to do alcohol, and you only want to eat of the land. I ain't judging nobody from doing nothing. Because, again, fermented grapes, this, that, and the third, it could be in covenant or it could be not in covenant, depending upon who you are. Because what God told these people to do, he did not tell these people to do. Everybody is in their own situation. Because it even says that. The children of Israel are not to do this, 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 and this. These people are not in covenant for this. He said, I was talking to this girl and she wasn't feeling me when I said I don't do holidays anymore. And you're right. They shouldn't be doing holidays. You see them niggas falling off the cross? Like God was telling them. Like y'all. And there was more. It was every single one of them. Everyone that came across my screen that did that, all of them fell off. And in my mind, that was God basically saying, like, look, y'all playing with me right now. And that one that fell from that high, listen, you couldn't pay me to get up there ever again in life. Like, you got me messed up. I'm surprised. I think one of them definitely hurt themselves. He said loud and clear and period. But they kept, the one that, they practiced that. The one that they whooped, because you heard that belt crack. I'm sure that was the Holy Spirit came into him and told him, I tried to tell y'all not to be playing, but since y'all wanted the Holy Spirit, here we go. I'm going to beat your ass. Because they wore him out to the tune of he pulled his wig off. Yo. I ain't lying. I like when I see God working. That was God working right in their face, right in the midst of. That was God saying, I told you not to do this. And now let me show you. Because they cracked his back. Yo, I was cracking up. That was my yesterday, laughing at stuff that was coming across my screen. Like, I don't know why God was showing me every single one of them. It was like none of them was going right. Every single one of them that was doing what they was doing, none of them went right. Every single one of them had a problem. God was trying to tell them, I ain't tell y'all to do this. Y'all out of covenant. I'm trying to give y'all the early warning system. Like, let's not do this. But wasn't nobody listening. So simple meaning, not evenly yoked equals being connected to someone who is not aligned with you, which can cause struggle, imbalance, or conflict. Are you going to be able to see it as it's happening? As we're gathered here today. Who's your group and who's not? Who's creating conflict? Matter of fact, in some cases, it's almost like they just can't even help themselves. Mind you, it's funny because, as a parent, sometimes we have to sit by and watch, certain incidents happen, right? And so I'll be seeing stuff and then I can't even say nothing about it because people got to go through their own and their own pathway. It's the same as me, as people watch me and people call me and say, oh, you shouldn't do this, da 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 da, and I still do it. But mind you, just imagine you being a parent and you just sitting by. You have to wait until it plays itself out because you got to wait till it plays itself out. And that's how God be doing us. Like, I'm going to wait and see how this play itself out. You want to do that, but mind you, you ain't even actively checking to see God was God before these people came in and asserted themselves. They gave you this book. They said this the way you're supposed to do it. But God's steady saying, I'm trying to warn you and tell you ahead of time. Y'all, I tell you what, this thing is over here doing this like Yelp. Mind you, I stopped to look at this one because this one ain't moving at all, period. And it shouldn't be moving, but it's like Yelp. Yelp. And then it stops. Period. So make sure you know what you're doing. I'm trying to tell you, it's this little things that look like, well, it's these, y'all seen them when I did the room, and it's that thing over here, but it's one that's just like, yo, period. Let them know. All right. So, when you're not evenly yoked, things feel harder than they should. Now, I know y'all done felt that with some people, like, why? Like, love ain't that hard. This ain't that hard, but should be being made hard. Why? Unevenly yoked, out of covenant, connected to somebody or something that you should not be connected to. Mind you, because we don't think about it as this is your group, this is your group, and this is your group, or this is your group, and this is your group, and you was only supposed to be in covenant or marriage to this group. You wasn't supposed to marry outside of this group. But meanwhile, it ain't even about like what we would think, like black, white, Indian, Spanish, this, that, and the third, because now I'm starting to even see this. Some people saying you're not Mexican if you don't speak Spanish, right? And the guy said Mexicans don't even speak Spanish. And then he was saying something about how Spain, mind you, Spain is one of them countries that did some stuff back in the day. They were colonizers, so entertainment purposes only. So people look at it as this, but not realizing these are a different breed of people than these people. And so the guy said, Mexicans speak whatever the other language is, and then he started explaining why Spain. So I'm not even talking about different races or cultures of people, because technically your race and your culture could be a collaborative group of these people that are under Jacob or under Esau or under Abraham or under all the Shem, Ham, whoever. But mind you, it's still a whole lot of different cultures. So when I'm saying that, know that I'm not saying, oh, just because you Asian, that this your group. No. It's Asians in all of these groups. It's Africans in all of these groups. It's white people in all of these groups. It's black people in all of these groups. But the group itself belongs to Jacob, this land, or this land. So know that. It ain't got nothing to do with your race it's got something to do with your DNA, your connection to this particular land or this particular tribe or this particular place. It's that. And everybody of all, different ethnicities fall into each one of these places. So know that. It's like the Chinese Jamaicans. So do with that information what you will. Um, there's tension or pulling in different directions. You want this and they want that. This happens, or we're supposed to be going in this direction, but meanwhile this person want to take you this direction. Why would you excuse me, why would you allow somebody to take you the long way, or hinder you on your journey? Because that's a thing too. Sometimes people are sent to distract you and put you over here. Oh, let me take you off the journey. Let me talk about this instead of this. Like, this is what we over here talking about. And then they start talking about something else. God gave you the message. This the message that we talking about. This the pathway that we supposed to be on. Yes, this may exist too, but not on this day. This ain't the lesson for this day. It's the lesson for tomorrow or the next day. But a person will come along and start talking about this. Oh, you should look into this, or you should see this, or you should see that. What makes you think that I didn't already see it? That's just not what we talking about. So what pathway we're on, don't let nobody take you off your pathway. Don't nobody take you the long way. And I explained this to y'all based off of this. A group of people getting together, everybody's driving their own car. And so we're all heading to the same destination, but we're not in the same car. We're not in our journey's different. So this person is their GPS sends them this way. This person's GPS sends them this way. This person's GPS sends them this way. Now, for all intents and purposes, a person could leave after you. You should get there before them. But your journey now, God is telling you, you got to meet this person, you got to meet this person, you got to meet this person, you got to do all these things. So the appointed time, the divine timing is based off of who God has you in alignment with, who you're supposed to be meant to see, who you're meant to intercede with along the pathway. And that's a part of the journey. Meanwhile, I told y'all also in listening to that text, it was also talking about the inventions that people will make that God sees and God already knows that are wrong. But God's still allowing them to create them because we got to figure it out for themselves. So I got some food, right, that I want to eat so bad because, it's going to be delicious. But mind you, I could potentially put it in the microwave in a foam container. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the food out and I'm going to put it in a container, a pan, and I'm going to heat it up in the oven. I can put the food in the air fryer, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in the oven. Now, in the oven, for all intents purposes, could be the safest version. It may take a little bit longer because the microwave will hit that joint, pow, and it'll be, heated real quick. But could potentially turn the shit into rubber. But it's going to be so good that I want to make sure that I heat it up the proper way. So I'm going to put it in the oven and I'm going to put a little, water or something in it, sauce, something, anything. Or it could just be the sauce that's already in it. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. The 30 minutes that it could potentially take to heat it up the proper way. I could be fast and put it in the microwave and in that foam container, and the foam is gonna go into the food, and now I'm gonna be eating whatever chemicals that's attached to that. They said the air fryer is, I don't know, for all intents purposes what the science is behind it, but from what I understand, the air fryer is not that great for you either. But how you want to heat this joint up? That's how I reheat my food. How, what I just said, put it in the oven. Mind you, it could just depend on how I'm feeling because, some days I use the microwave, some days I use the air fryer, but today I decided, and this is real, so I ain't even lying to y'all. It just happened to dawn on my mind because, and mind you, me sitting here ain't even the first time I thought about it because I thought about it last night. Like when I heat my food up, this time I heat it up because it's good and I want to make sure it stays good. But sometimes we start moving too fast. Or sometimes we ain't got the time. Sometimes we just doing whatever we doing, and we just, you know, and I'm not judging. Somebody could use the microwave, somebody could use the air fryer, somebody could do however they want to. The point of it is it's your option, it's your pathway, it's your journey. So just because somebody takes, Route 20 and they go, down Highway 20 to get to the same location where we going, don't make them better or worse. It makes them, that's the pathway, that's the journey that God set them on. Somebody want to take I-85 to get to wherever they going, don't matter. That's the pathway, that's the journey. Now, this is where the issue comes in at, because suppose somebody says, I want you to follow me, or I'm going to follow you. And now, because, people be following sometimes and they don't keep up. And then they be mad at you for leaving them. But meanwhile, we got a purpose here. But how about when sometimes you following somebody and then God tells you, detour this way. And this person that you're following don't take that detour because, they didn't get that message. They went straight. Mind you, they got stuck in traffic. But your GPS now tells you to, bust this right, go across this median over here, and this the way we gonna go. And then somebody get mad at you for taking a detour that God told you to take. My move coming up. Y'all reminding me that I need an air fryer. Never tried it before. You see what I'm saying? And to each his own, like shit, because when the air fryer be making stuff crispy. You see what I'm saying? It gives it that certain type of crisp that you want on it. So it could also depend upon what you heating up. I seen a nigga deep fry steak yesterday. And for all intents purposes, I probably was the most mad at the fact that it didn't look like it had no seasoning on it. And the fact that it could have been a little bit hotter on the grease. Either way, when it came out, it looked like it was the bomb. Like you could sprinkle some seasoning on that grease when it came out, and it would have been tasty. It was my favorite steak. I like T-bone steak. It was a good looking one too. So I was mostly mad about the fact that it didn't look seasoning. But when it came out, it looked delicious. And then it made me realize I don't got no air fryer no more. And not air fryer. I don't got no deep fryer no more. And I want a deep fryer because I like actually frying fish, but I can't get a deep fryer until I finish doing some other, more important things that I need to be paying for. I heard I need to unplug it when I'm done. Girl, I don't know, because my air fryer be plugged in. So see what I'm saying? To each his own. I don't even know. But now I want to try a deep fried T-bone steak. Now, you don't need to put all that grease on your food, but then also in the process, I actually actively turned down some shrimp yesterday. And if you don't know me, just know that I love shrimp. But apparently it's on the list of things that are out of covenant because you shouldn't be eating shellfish. So I had to turn it down because, I'm learning. And it depends on later on, I might decide that, I'm out of covenant anyway, so God might just get me. But I ain't actively making that decision right now. I'm actively making the decision that God must be trying to send me somewhere, teach me something, this, that, and the third. But also I'm doing something else that I can't share with y'all yet. But I have to be mindful that don't eat that. So literally yesterday, my son made some shrimp, especially for me, and I had to turn it down. But I was proud of myself because I focused on God first. And like I told y'all earlier, that one of the texts says, when you are already, actively seeking God and things of that nature, it's not hard when it's already in you. So it wasn't hard, but it just made me realize, like, damn, you turned down some shrimp. Mind you, I actually had to apologize about, because I ordered something the other day before that, and I had already ate it before I realized that that did say that that's not on the list. You see what I'm saying? So as you're growing, as you're learning, and I ain't saying nothing for nobody else, I'm just telling you about me actively wanting to make sure that we're all gathered here today. And whether or not it's a union between me, going into wholeness or learning myself, or whether or not it is the veil being lifted and, actively connecting with somebody or actively connected with God and everything else. See, now you being Kevin Gates. I don't like that for you, Chico. I don't like that for you, Chico, because that nigga pissed me off with that. He said, shrimp are the roaches of the sea, from what I heard. Yeah, he posted that. Pissed me the fuck off because I was over here actively at the time. This was a couple years ago. And I was saying something about I like shrimp, something, something, something. And then lo and behold, this mother sucker posted that with the way it was, exactly that, on his page. And y'all, I ain't like him from that point on for that. But that nigga did that. Now, see what I'm saying? But I chose to not eat the shrimp. So, I can't even be mad, but I learned that from him. Pissed me right on off. I am not going to lie to you. So now, learning, it's not in covenant. No shrimp. I said no. He said I used to love them as well. Well, I turned it down, so I didn't eat that. But again, I'm learning. So, and what are the right things? Because this is something that I have to actively continue to keep in communication with God for, because, what are the right things? Because since the timing and everything is off, and, we don't know where we could fit in along, this land, the covenant, or this, that, or the third, it is now just having some discernment and knowing what, God been actively trying to work with you on, or what God trying to tell you on. So being able to hear, be aware is also important. So, yep, I turned down a shrimp. Anyway, that is funny. So covenant being sacred union, a moment of commitment between you and God, a spiritual agreement, and even recognizing that, God was God before the text came along, and God was God. What was that? It says the message was held for review. What was the message being held for review? Steal something. I heard a story where a church member prayed for the pastor's wife to be people be doing all types of stuff. People out here, people are freaking wicked. You don't know that? She said that she still happy. Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Still happy said that they heard a story about somebody praying for the pastor's wife against her to be injured so that she could have a relationship with the pastor. But people be wishing all types of bad luck and everything else, but the weapon may form, but it shall not prosper. And I truly believe that. And then sometimes people will wish ill on you, and then it will definitely backfire and hit their ass. That's why people got to be mindful of who you out here trying to touch, tempt, and, be involved with. Because some things you could just not do. Sometimes you could just, say, okay, and go this way. But, people keep trying to insert themselves into stuff, and it could be something that you want. I'm sure we all had that feeling. Like, it's something that we actively want. But guess what? It might not want you. And you just got to go and, live your best life and wait for God to send you something that is probably going to be better than the thing you wanted anyway. But a lot of people don't want to wait. I seen a lady that was 100 and something years old and was still a virgin. And was praying to God about, getting connected to somebody. And guess what? God sent her a husband. 100 years old. Like, by 100, most people would have said, oh, I'm going to pop this thing, here or there. But the lady was faithful. She knew God could work it out. Gloria, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. So sometimes we have to know that we know that God is God, and God is not going to lie to us. Man will lie, woman will lie, but God ain't going to lie. Are we listening to God, though? Because we got to remember, our op just sat next to God, was in the presence, and is able and allowed to, come along and try to say, oh, I want to show you that this human being is not righteous. Even for as much as they come along, you want to be a virtuous woman or a virtuous man. You want to do everything the right way. But mind you, there's actively an agent trying to make sure that you don't be the image of God that, God knows that you can and will be. They trying to prove God wrong by all intents measures. And do you want to be the thing that allows them to use you to prove God wrong? You wouldn't want nobody proving your mama wrong, that, you know what I'm saying, your son or your daughter is a bad person. You wouldn't want nobody proving your man wrong, that this is not the right woman or the man to be with you. But for some reason, people find it easy to not care about whether or not anybody has, a good intentions with God, or saying that you are a good person in God's sight, or God's created in God's image. Like, people be thinking I'll deal with that on the other side, but meanwhile, technically it should be important for you to deal with it right here and right now. Because again, what if part of the text and your inheritance is based off the fact that this is not the end? Like, this location ain't the end, and it is determining whether or not you go live amongst good people or if you go live amongst bad people, like in real life. I believe this. I have been through unusually intense warfare with a group of women from my family. Very hurtful. I mean, all you can do is, your pathway is, are you going to forgive them, or are you going to be wrathful? Are you going to be vengeful? Mind you, the thing is that even on the Samantha said, girl, it's time to hit the gym, because Samantha wants to come in here and think that her opinion of me is important. I don't even know Samantha. And the sad thing about Samantha is that she's unloved. And so she wants to put other people down. Samantha don't understand that we're having conversations about God, and God is going to deal with Samantha how God deals with Samantha. But Samantha, whether or not you think that I should be in the gym or anywhere else, I don't care about your opinion. It don't matter. And I feel bad for you that you're so sad that you got to try to put somebody else down in order for you to feel good about yourself. So I pray that God deals with you however God deals with you. But yeah, I just feel bad for you. So I ain't even going to delete your comment, because I want everybody to know what type of person you are. So you came in to show yourself who you are, and I'm going to leave it right there. And then I'm going to continue on talking about what I was talking about, okay? Because I don't feel bad for me or my size or the gym or anywhere else. I know that God loves me, and I am exactly the way I'm meant to be. If you don't like it, you could actually scroll. So hopefully that helps you, and hopefully your opinion of yourself ain't based off of what other people say either. Anyway, so we're going to go back over here and talk about the fact that when God is putting you, for me, she said, for me, I'm just going to get, and that's a fact. Now, I'll go get Samantha clear the hell going. I mean, I feel like Samantha's dealing with her own demons. So guess what? I feel like my response to Samantha was in covenant. So guess what? Whatever they say after that, that's going to be between them and God, because I'm good. Either way, common sins that damage your covenant, common sins that break your covenant, things that you're working with or need to be working on, getting closer to God, having a deeper relationship with God. Pamela, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Having a closer relationship with God. Also, repentance and turning back. Like, even for the things that we do when we really don't know, when we don't know that we are on our pathway or on our see, the thing that I can't let you do though is continue to try to distract, and so you can say whatever you want. Again, I'm gonna put you in timeout because you don't know how to sit and be quiet, and that's a child's. You should have learned that as a child. So I'm not going to let you distract anybody else. I'm just going to let you, know that I can put you in timeout and we don't have to listen. So I don't have to see you keep popping up, and trying to distract the rest of the people. That's the beautiful thing about me. I know how to get you going. So there's that. And clearly, again, you need attention. I'm not it. I'm talking about God. You can pray and God will give you the attention you need. I'm not going to give it because fuck you. I don't got to care about you. So knowing that we're in covenant, and how do we get back? And even if the covenant feels broken, it can be restored. We have to do the thing that we need to do in order to be able to restore it. She said, good, get rid of the distraction. I stopped by to learn something. Amen. Gloria, thank you. So even if we feel like we're out of covenant, even if we feel like we know they messed up the dates and the times, even if we feel like, there's something more for us, and how do we get to it? First thing is acknowledgement. Second thing is repentance, turning back, prayer, humility, and surrendering. God, we didn't know. Like, we really didn't. And now we're trying to actively figure it out. Mind you, God listens to your thoughts, so God knows whether or not, you don't want to be a messy, nasty person. But there's people on earth that choose to be a messy, nasty person because they have options to be able to do something different, but instead they choose this. So you're not permanently cut off. Restoration is always possible. And that was the other thing. Even in the text, every time the children turned around, or the group turned around, the children of Israel turned around, anytime anybody that actively sought God out and turned around, God always allowed them back in. But you now have to live the very thing that you gonna have to walk the walk. All right? Or you have to walk your talk. So you can't just say that, okay, God, I want to, change my ways, this, that, and the third, and then still be doing the same thing. No, you're not permanently cut off. Restoration is always possible. We got to just do the things that is necessary for us to be able to do, to actively say, okay, we didn't know before, but this is what we actually want to do now. Like, because if we didn't know that there were texts or there was books that basically they were given to be able to say, okay, God, this is the covenant, this is the days, you're supposed to keep these and honor these days, and it be in the system. You're supposed to honor this day or this, month every year. This is the covenant with God. Or you're supposed to do this. How would we know if they took it? We wouldn't know. So you can always come back. You can always heal. You can always start again. Even if we drift off by making a mistake because we didn't know, mistakes are a way for, us to, this is earth school. We have been so long out of covenant, or with things being a certain type of way, that it may take you a little minute. But it's on catching yourself too and saying, like when I said about the shrimp. One day I didn't realize, and I just went on ahead and I ordered it. I ate it, and it wasn't until after that I was like, oh my God, I wasn't supposed to do that. But then yesterday, it was presented to me early. And I actively said, no, I'm not going to do that. So when we come back with sincerity, a relationship can be built. When we are sincere in the fact that we didn't know, or we want to change, or we wish to now, align ourselves in a way that is going to bring us back into our blessing. Because again, the blessing is there for you to have. The covenant is there for you to have. The relationship is there for you to have. You just have to say that you want it. You have to actively initiate the connection or the union. So you're not permanently cut off. Restoration is always possible. So no matter what you have done, no matter how far you have gone, you're not too far going to come back. You can acknowledge it. You can ask for forgiveness, and you can, wake up and be actively a good person. Now, I don't know about them people that just think that, okay, I'm on my deathbed and now I'm going to repent. Like, to me, that's like you really trying to play in God's face. You literally actively knew, and I think those people are called reprobates, I think. This message hit so hard for me today. This is crazy. Let me see, what's the meaning of reprobate? All right, can you give me some tissue, please, for my nose? You having a good day? The meaning of reprobate is dun, 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 dun. The word reprobate has a strong meaning, especially in a spiritual or biblical context. A reprobate is someone who has rejected what is right and continues to live in wrongdoing. So it refers to a person who consistently turns away from God. Be safe, Nook. Love you too. Consistently turns away from God, ignores the truth even when they know it, becomes hard and see later, becomes hardened in their heart. It is a simple way to understand reprobate equals someone who keeps choosing wrong so much that they stop recognizing what's right. It is important to understand that as long as someone is willing to change, seek truth, and turn back, there is still hope. That's them, y'all. Won't get it right. Yep. And they keep doing it. They just keep choosing. So they know better, but they just keep doing it the wrong way. And they eventually stop caring. So that's a person when it's reprobate. But for the people who, didn't know, actively now you know, and you want to change and you want to get it right, you can start over. You can rebuild your relationship with God. Again, you can heal, grow, and you can always do better. So, God isn't always looking to reject you either. That's the other thing. Because your pathway, this is where the tests come along. And God not, actively testing you. It is the life, because I told you your biggest op is an angel. Somebody that sat along with God. Somebody that don't want to see you have dominion of the earth. Somebody that, or something that basically wants to spiritually condemn you. So God is always looking to receive you back even when you turn away, but then you have this entity, this being that continues to want to present you with, this. That's where I think that whole little, the angel that's there to assist you, that's always trying to keep you on the right pathway and tell you, give you that little gut feeling, that urge to say, you shouldn't do that. Like, I know it looks or sounds like, good, but mind you, the other entity is saying, oh, you can get away with it for this. It's like that little simple thing. When I told you about that thing that came along with the guy, and I didn't have to tell nobody nothing, but I was sitting here at 3 o'clock in the morning, phone rings, my phone don't ring. I don't want nobody that is, could be watching, that could be connected with me, thinking that I'm taking phone calls from niggas at 3 a.m. Not. The person was in the chat over here on my FB, and so they knew I was awake. And then they called to apologize about something else. But somebody else looking at that may think she accepting phone calls from, dudes. No, I don't. My phone don't ring. My phone be quiet. Matter of fact, that person don't even have my phone number. What they did was a FB call, the video chat. Niggas ain't got my number. So even in that context, I came and I said what I said. But mind you, the thing was, for everything that I'm dealing with and going through right now, somebody was trying to offer me something, which would actually was, asking me to help them, but they were offering me something that, I may have needed at this time. But guess what? I'm choosing to let God do it. So even if I don't got it, I'm not going to, try to figure out my way. And, that might be the thing. Somebody may be like, well, that might have been God's way of giving it to you. No, because God is not going to try to actively put a man or insert another energy into my household to give me anything. That's not the way God going to do it. God is just going to give it to me, no strings attached. So it don't have to be a man, which would make me out of alignment, because why do you have a man living with you that ain't your husband, or not, an energy that is going to be? So I instantly said, I'm not going to put myself in that predicament in order for me to do that. So I kindly rejected the offer, but mind you, it could have just been everything that I needed in order to start paying the things that I needed to pay. But guess what? I'm going to be obedient and just come here and do the work, and prayerfully the channels will do what they need to do, or got to figure out another way to give it to me. I ain't even, worried about how, or trying to put a place on how God is going to give it to me. I'm just going to actively know that that wasn't the way, because that would now put somebody else into something, not doing that. She said, same, 100% phone, just as peaceful as it ever been. Yeah, because I'm not doing it and I ain't entertaining it. So that's why I said actively, when God sends it, I'm going to say, when God sends the right thing, the wrong thing is on the way too, because as above, so below. We have to have some discernment. And so I was not going to interject that into my system. I blocked him 7 months ago and never went back. And that's how we have to do it. We have to actively know that this is for us and this is not. And so the prayer could always be for me, because like I said, I'm always wanting to be nice and help somebody out, this, that, and the third. And the person saying, oh well, I don't have to, physically be there, this and the third. Yeah, but I'm not gonna put myself into the wrong situation, because you would have to be here for a certain period of time. I'm not doing it. And it has nothing to do with the person. It is my pathway, my journey, and I'm not going to let my journey get blocked, because sometimes you could detour yourself by stuff like that. Inserting somebody, or so that could have been a way for the enemy to try to block me from whatever was happening, or an enemy to block the person that's trying to, that's in covenant from coming in too, because then the person sees that and ain't nobody dealing with that, because I ain't dealing with that. We have to be mindful. So you may have messed up, but you're not disqualified. Play as fuck up. Like, this Earth School, this is where we're here to listen. This is where we're here to learn. This is where we're here to advance. This is where we're here to grow. This is where we're here to evolve. This is where we're here to. Mind you, again, you have to pay attention to our whole entire system got hijacked, and somebody actively inserted lies and falsehoods into the system. And now we're actively fighting ourselves back to the pathway in order for us to do the right things, or even to be in covenant, or even to, fulfill the contract that we have with God. Like, we were already at a disadvantage when they got here before we did, and that they chose to do all the wrong things. And we have to choose to want to do the right thing with the right people, though, and stay on our pathway. So hopefully this message makes some sense, and I hope I've explained it properly. Don't stop actively seeking, because even though we may not have it all together, even though we may not know everything, it is still up to us to, ask and, be able to see when God is showing us something. Aaliyah, hi. She said, I don't agree with Samantha, but I also don't agree with being overweight. Well, I mean, who's to say I'm overweight? That's the thing. And why is my weight any issue to y'all? That's kind of crazy that was your comment, but everybody can have their own judgment and their own, I'm sorry that I'm not, stick white girl thin for y'all, and I pray to never be. I'm a black woman, and I have curves, and I have ass and titties and things of that nature. She says she can go on and get. Y'all have to remember that certain people put stuff into the system. It would almost be like, you being out of covenant because of this, because of the people inserting themselves in. So I get that y'all think that everything should be a cookie cutter, and I don't care. I don't care. She said I'm black and white, so what do I mean? I'm gonna tell you this. What I mean is, I don't even perceive to want to talk to you. Your comment is, null and void. So for everybody else that was listening, that got the message, hopefully it helped. Thank you guys for being here. I will be seeing y'all again tomorrow at 8:15, or I'll be seeing y'all a little bit later on when I come back, if I come back. Other than that, hopefully I did the right thing. She said, Ty, I'm dog sitting away from my PC. I'm viewing from my phone. Normally I have both. Booking says, stop allowing yourself to be used by the enemy. Get the message and mind your business. People be wanting attention, Booking. So I'm going to just go ahead and put them on, because I don't know what they think, but it's black people that was here before them and everything else, and maybe it's because she is tainted by whatever the the demon spawn that they got going on. But I'm not gonna let them insert whatever that is into the system. So we just gonna cancel them out, and I'm gonna just know that she's a op. Remember, I told you our biggest op is an angel that sat beside God. So literally, it don't matter. It don't matter what anybody say. It matters how you feel about yourself. And so if they don't like it, they daddy do. So know that. I wasn't lobbying for her attention. I bet you her daddy like every bit of it though. So it don't even matter. Y'all, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Don't let the enemy don't entertain the enemy, because the biggest thing you could do is put him on mute. I mean, Cardi B said it the best. The only time these bitches make sense to me is when I put them on mute. Period. Because they have the option. It's bad to me when people sit and listen or talk to people that they don't like. Like, I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to let them bait me to talk to them because their behavior is not what I like. But what I'm going to do, though, is go put my food inside the oven, like I said, and enjoy it. And then I'm gonna, get on social media, see what I like. And if I can, I'll come back if God give me some more messages, or I see some other things that, is going to be fruitful to your heart, your mind, body, and soul. And if not, then I'm going to mind my business and stay where I was, okay? Period. Everybody, thank y'all for being here. And I love y'all, and go with God. Always choose God. Fuck what a hater got to say. Love yourself, okay? Period. They don't gotta love you. God does. Just remember that. They don't want you to love yourself, but God does.